He- Hello, friends. How are you? Hi, Bougie Gang. What's going on? Woo! Guys, I've been busy today. Busy, 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 busy. Okay. Let me see what you guys are talking about. You know what? Did I put it on members and mods? I felt like I did it earlier, but I don't know. Did I? Is it on members and mods? Let me drop the link too. No pressure, guys. If you feel like I don't know if I drop. Oh, I should have done that earlier. My bad. I'm like thinking out in thinking that I should have dropped some more memberships. I don't know if I can do that while if that's going to happen cuz maybe you have to be in the chat. So it's probably going to give let's see. Let me see how to do this. I'm going to have to do it on my next live. Okay. Members and mods. Okay, here we go. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? Okay, guys. So we did react to the live that was put up last night. I did do a reaction to Dre and Nesto talking. We could I don't really want to watch it again because I'm gonna have it come out a little bit later. I did, if you're in members or Patreon members on either of my channels, I did drop it in a post for you guys to have access to, and Patreon also. So some of you guys watched it already. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch it. Hey, I'm ready. The mess. So yeah, a couple of things. I'd actually like to run back. I don't want to go through the whole entire thing, but I would like to watch a little bit of that video again last night because it was kind of lonely watching it by myself. My sandwich was good. I didn't finish it. I made I made some bacon and I made a bacon, avocado, and tomato sandwich, which is so good. It's ridiculously good. If you like avocado, hey Joey, hey, how are you, sir? Um, if you like avocado, bacon, I mean, it's a bacon, avocado, and tomato sandwich. It's like I it just kind of is like it just speaks for itself. Okay. Um, drop call in. Okay, you guys want to call in? Okay, cool. Give me just 1 second. We will do that. All right, let's do this real quick. Okay, number one. So, couple housekeeping items. I have the bankruptcy. I don't have all of the bankruptcy information in front of me. Well, I kind of do, but it's more of like in a synopsis format. Because look, let me tell you something. I don't make up the news. I just report it. And at the end of the day, you know, let me show this. Not that I feel that I have to justify anything, but some people are new here, so they don't know everything. And I certainly don't know everything either, but based on what's been dropped already. So I'm on a website called Court Lister, and all of these documents, as you can see, are listed on Pacer. Pacer um is a legal site where you can pull up all different kinds of legal court filings and documents, right? So this is the like the listing, the itemized account of Shirley Clark Strawberries, United States bankruptcy. Um, and it was last updated February 21st of 2021. This was assigned to Vincent Zerzolo. And Vincent Zerzolo is this gentleman right here, the Honorable Vincent Zerzolo, U.S. bankruptcy judge, Central District of California. So I don't like for people to try to play on my top at all. Um, before I come to you guys with anything, I'm double, triple checking. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking about me. But this is the accounting or just the docket entries, if you see right here, of Shirley's bankruptcy, which was dismissed. It wasn't discharged. It wasn't completed. It was a notice of dismissal, which means that, ma'am, there's several different reasons, but we talked about this. I have a full video talking about this, from the $195,000 G-Wagon she purchased with $2,400 payment, $71,100 payment, excuse me, 71 $2,400 payments on a used G-Wagon that was like $196,000 that she put $19,000 on, amongst other things, right? So I did the video, I did redact it, I did omit many things because it is obviously personal, but it's a public document, and bankruptcies are public and all of those things. So people speaking on certain things who also have public filings probably should shut up. Okay. And I'm gonna say it like that. Don't ma'am ma'am needs to keep it real cute as far as I'm concerned, because I don't make stuff up. I don't stretch out anything. I don't know who she was talking to, but sis needs to really pump her brakes. Okay. Little Miss Sonya. Okay. She had a lot to say in those videos about the bloggers. See, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but Phone Calls from Prison put out a video today with Young Thug and Mariah the scientist. And I was watching it, and the difference between people who are actually in a relationship, which maybe these two really aren't in a relationship. I don't know. I think they're supposed to probably be getting together. I mean, that's base if you didn't listen to one phone call and didn't know anything about Nesto and Sonya, if you're watching these jail visits, it would be safe to assume that these two are involved, and these two talk a lot about what's happening in the future, and they also talk a lot about the internet. Anyway, before I close this out, and I'll post some more information on this, I'll post the link to this for members, and I do have the actual documents that I'm not going to post to YouTube. I'll post them onto Patreon. But everything that you would want to see or need to see is in that bankruptcy video. The discrepancy. So one of the major discrepancies that they talked about last night was the fact that on the bankruptcy filing, Shirley checked off that she was not married. Okay. Now, why would she do that? I don't know. I don't know. Did she lie on her bankruptcy because she didn't want to include Nesto because Nesto had, according to Fulton County shell companies? You guys tell me. I don't know. I'm not the lawyer. I didn't tell them what to do. I did not advise them. I haven't gone in depth on this bankruptcy. I'm also not a CPA. I'm also not a bankruptcy expert. I've also never filed for bankruptcy either. So I just know how to read. Okay, in more way than one, but I know how to read. And at the end of the day, this is what it is. So, and you could see the adoration in her eyes. She is, ma'am is a fool. Okay. Um, these videos don't help them in the least. They really don't help them at all. But anyway, this is the information. Like I said, there's a whole video that's on my channel. Shirley Strawberry and her $1 million, her $1 million plus bankruptcy filing, and that's on my channel. Okay. Oh, you could see the adoration in her eyes. You're talking about Mariah and Young Thug. Yes. Mr. Jeffrey. Yes, absolutely. Very cute, blowing kisses, all of the things. Very sweet, and a couple, and they're a couple, right? Um, interesting. But yeah, this is the docket entries for Shirley's bankruptcy, and everything was pulled from Pacer. As you can see, it says buy on Pacer. It gives you the docket entry, so it kind of gives you a illustration of what happened with her bankruptcy proceedings. But to get the documents, you have to go on Pacer and pay for them, which I have a Pacer account. Okay. Which is where I get some of my documents, not everything, because everything's not always on Pacer. And then some things on Pacer I don't necessarily have access to. But yeah, I don't know what ma'am was trying to say. But and as you can see right here, it's a chapter 13. Okay. And anybody, I will drop this. Just understand, there's some, there's disclosures involved with let me drop it in the chat. there are disclosures involved in registering for websites like this. I know some people aren't interested in all that. And like I said, everything that you need to know or would want to know about that matter is in the video that I already posted. But yeah, so they talked about that, which lets me also know that, Sonya is definitely deeply entrenched in watching my videos. She also talked about something that we talk about a lot, which is Mandisi and Yandy, which we've talked about it a good portion. um, my thoughts on Yandy and Mandisi. I mean, they've been together for a long time now. They are married. They do have kids, but early on, Mandy, and this is my opinion. I think Yandy was very, very thirsty for Mandisi. We know Yandy started out as a side chick, okay? And we also know when Mandisi went to prison, she changed her name to his name just because the thirst was real, and that was my opinion a long time ago, and it's remained the same. And we also know that it was a fake love and hip hop wedding that became a real wedding. So Sonya was sitting up there trying to go the Cliff Notes way, which she loves to repeat stuff that she hears on these channels. Girl, she knew all about Mandisi. Mandisi had a drug dealer past, and he had to go and do his time. He also owed a lot of money to the government because he was part of a situation where they made a lot of money. Okay. A lot of money. And the man has a past. Okay. At the end of the day, we're not talking about that on today because that's not what we're talking about. But Yandy um, was in love with him, period. And sis was very thirsty for him, and she was willing to do everything she needed to do to be with Mandisi, including changing her name to his name just on some, she look, the fact of the matter is that Sonya was trying to tell the story and she failed miserably at telling the story of Mandisi and Yandy because she doesn't watch Love and Hip Hop anyway. I don't know if she ever watched New York or not, but that's so far back. And that's on just some like New York tri-state area people knowing their story and going back Love and Hip Hop damn over 5, 6, 7 years ago at this point. Like it was Lil Mandisi's damn near a man now. Okay, he's a grown man. These were little kids at the time. Like I just hate when people take a little bit of a story. They don't know all of the story. And also that, you got a Sonya worked in there trying to prove points and all kinds of silly stuff like that. Ma'am is ridiculous. So that kind of aggravated me a little bit. She's still hot and bothered about Tasha K bringing us up to the panel. Okay. But let me drop this. Joey, I know Joey wanted to come up, so give Joey a minute. Joey's got some ideas to share with us, so you guys hold on. Joey, if you're ready, come on up. I feel like there were some other housekeeping items we needed to talk about, but um I will have them, and some of this stuff will just be posted. I just dropped the link, so if anybody is curious and nosy and wants the information regarding this bankruptcy, I just dropped it for you. I will drop my I'll put this in the pin comment of my video that I've done on this already. Um ooh, okay. That was okay. Um my bad. Okay. I will drop this in the pinned comments of the bankruptcy video. And if you guys want further exploration, then you can go and handle that business. What's going on, Joey?
Hi, Fran. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes. What is
So, what do
going
you want to talk about? So, what do we want to get into today?
I'm annoyed with Sonia. Can we
What
talk?
can I do for you?
Can we have a little bougie gang intervention with the hostess chief moderator, please?
Okay.
She annoyed me. She really annoyed me. I can't say I don't like when people speak on me, but it's like, get it straight. We know that she's an unreliable narrator. We know that she will grasp at anything to prove her point, but I don't, there's something about that that aggravates me. Can you help? Can you help
Uh,
me?
like I've said in the past, Fran, Sonia, Sonia, and to see them on camera, now I'm even more convinced I was right. I'm usually right about these things. Uh, One, she's lying to him. They are gaming each other. I've never seen. She's telling him that she's doing all these activities outside when she's really not doing most of that. Uh,
Right, because we see her, if you follow her Instagram, if you see, like, she's not, floating around town, social butterflying around town as she would like people to think she is. She's getting out, but she's not out all the time.
no, she's not doing half. I think he thinks that she's doing all these activities on his behalf, and she just isn't. But she constantly tells him, "I'm doing all these things. I got all these followers. I'm working. I'm working. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." They talk with their hands a lot, which is another thing that kind of interests me.
Okay.
If you notice, he does the same thing. They both kind of talk with their hands. I think um, that's a scammer trick. Look at this.
Mm.
Look at this. Don't listen to me. Yeah. So. Um,
And also just kind of extra reinforcement
Correct.
when
A
you
lot of
feel
facial.
like you have to kind of oversell.
Correct.
They say liars typically feel like they want to drive the lie because they want to make sure it sticks. So they do what they can. So that's why they'll add extra because they want to make sure the lie works.
There's a lot of extra in it. So it's just that I won't talk long, but anyway, they just it seems that she is, she has the advantage of being on the outside.
Hmm.
He doesn't know what's going on the outside, so she can tell him anything,
Pretty much,
and
yes.
and he has to believe it. My second point is the conversation he had with. Well, I have 2 points. The conversation he had with Shirley when he was asking Shirley, what's the deal when I come home?
Hmm.
A lot of folks gave Ernest a bad time about that. But I think that's an honest question. Am I still, am I still the man? Do you
Hmm.
still have respect for me? And I think it was really kind of, I think Shirley could, and I think maybe he doesn't have the words for that. He's constantly trying to circle around it. But I think Shirley really, I wasn't impressed with her answer of just not giving him an answer or not saying, I don't know until I sit down and talk. She didn't really say, until I sit down and talk with you, we're going to have to talk about that when you get out.
Hmm.
I think she was trying to say that, but she really didn't do a very good job of that. And then everyone gives Dre this credit. Dre didn't do anything. Again, Dre is on the outside. Dre has the advantage of hearing these phone calls, knowing how they play to the public. Ernest does not. He does not know this. Dre could have resolved a lot of stuff that Ernest was doing when Ernest was out free in the world. So I find it a little disingenuous to kind of be Team Shirley now. You should have been Team Shirley when he was out cutting the monkey, as they like to say,
Hmm.
and doing what he was doing. But and as far as Sonya though, Sonya is I swear she acts like a teenager at
Hmm.
times.
She does.
Um, I mean, it's very much like a teenager, but yeah, she is. She's basically telling him, "I'm doing all these things." He's like, "Yeah, how many followers is that now?" She's telling him that she has lawyers lined up and she's talking to these people. I don't think that's true at all. She's just
No.
telling him. She's just telling him things. So they're
I mean,
just
she
scamming
might be
each other.
lining people up, but just like yesterday, like, so in that video that I reviewed and we watched earlier, he asked her, "Had you talked to 11?" I don't know who 11 is. 11 might be the new lawyer. I'm assuming, and it was like, "No, I didn't talk to him." Like at the end, it's like he gives her. This is not the first time we've observed that he's given her an assignment and she doesn't get it done. Oh no, I'll call them tomorrow. I'll call them on Monday. But he's very much of a procrastinator too. He's very much like, I'm going to get on that on Monday. I'm going to get on that on Monday, or we're going to get on that right away. Have you called the lawsuit lawyer? Have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? And it's like, oh, I'm going to do that as soon as I get home. And then it's the next day. And it's like, no, I haven't talked to them yet, or da 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 da. I mean, clearly he gives her a lot of stuff to do. And but yeah, she doesn't, there's not a lot of follow through. That's why both of these people are in the position that they're in. They lack ambition and they lack follow through. It doesn't mean that, Nesto didn't have the ability. A lot of people have the ability to do great things. It's the follow
Mhm.
through and the work ethic that gets it done, right?
I think
So
he has a work ethic. But by not being able to get around and chase things down, he's relying on her to do it. And I don't think she's just not doing that. I think she is simply making phone calls. She's seeing the lawyers on occasion, but she's not, the activity that he thinks that she's doing is not there. I don't think she's doing. I don't think she's moving as much as he believes that she is. And she's getting
well,
tired. She's running out of resources. I'm starting to see, it's starting to wind down.
I
How
think
is she living?
right. How
How
is
is she
she
doing it?
living? Well, she's babysitting. I think she does odd jobs. I think she dog walks, which I don't know if she's dog walking in Atlanta, but she seems to be an odd jobber because what we learned is that in Miami, she was dog walking, she was bartending, she was working at the law office, she was working at the dispensary. I mean, she's got many jobs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that she was door dashing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she seems to be the type that will do gigs. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So she could be Ubering for all we know. Like, she could be doing anything that is kind of a gig variety. I think
Right.
Sonya is not above and beyond being paid off the books. She could be dead mothering at a strip club. We've seen her at bars at night, so she could be hostessing, seating people. You know what I mean? She could be like a right hand to the manager of some,
Right.
said nightclub. She seems to want to apprentice under people because what she lacks in formal education, she attaches herself to people that know more than her, which is why she has a particular disdain for Pam, Nyla, me, Sylvia. She's women who have more knowledge than her in a specific area. So she's sitting, she's studying, and then she gets very resentful because of her lack of education, she's
Hmm.
resentful. So rather than gleaning what she's learning and being appreciative and grateful for the free knowledge that she's getting, she gets
Hmm.
mad. The bloggers have taken on like like a they're taking a role in this whole thing. So now it's like enter the bloggers. So the
So if she were
bloggers
to,
are a protagonist
if she were
or
to,
an
if she were to,
antagonist in this story.
so if she were to call you and say, "Can you help me?" What would you tell her?
No, never. I don't it's not personal. I'm going to be honest. It's really not personal. But one thing as a YouTuber and blogger at this point, I've learned you got to stay in your own lane. I'm not swerving to get into anyone else's lane. I'm not interested in helping. I am, like I always say, I'm a witness out here. I'm an observer and I'm telling the news. I'm giving the news to the people who want this type of news. I am not trying to be in the story. The fact that she has injected me into the story as one of the bloggers and wants to make up stories about what I've done, what I haven't done is annoying to me, but it's not enough. I don't care. I know enough of what the truth is to not feel that I need to inject myself further into the story. I don't want to be called as a witness. I'm staying on the sidelines. You know what I mean? I don't want to have anything to do with these people. These people live in the computer and nobody needs to call me. So that's, I'm all too happy to watch other people, but as far as me getting involved, no, ma'am, no, sir, mm-mm,
I was
not
meaning in terms
interested.
of her site,
No, nothing. Like helping
you know,
her with her YouTube.
her YouTube.
No, no, you know what I mean? I hate to be one of these YouTubers because I do help people from time to time. People ask me questions, or sometimes I feel the urge to give some encouragement out here about starting a YouTube channel. But no. Mm-mm. I got no help on my YouTube journey over the past 7, 8 years. No one has helped me. No one's taught me anything. I've learned everything myself. I am self-made on YouTube. And I think that's the best journey. I think some of the most successful people on YouTube are self-made YouTubers. And that is what I highly recommend is your own journey, figuring it out. That's how you develop your style, all of those things. So, mm-mm.
Yeah, I can tell you that I know all the YouTubers. I know yourself and Sylvia and Nyla. I think y'all done. I mean, I keep saying it. You've done an excellent job of covering down on this, and I can't wait for the trials because I'm
Oh my
looking
God,
forward
I
to.
can't wait.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing all the pieces of the puzzle laid out. Uh, I can't wait to actually see that. That's the. There's a lot of questions that I have. A lot of things that kind of some stuff bothers me. Some stuff doesn't.
Mhm.
Uh, do I think that Ernest is getting a fair shot? There are times that I don't. There are times that I say, well, I think his bonds are a little high, and I've said this before. But I'm waiting for the trials to see how everything is laid out, um, because there's some. I still have a lot of questions on this one.
Well,
Hopefully, this will.
even yesterday, so Denise and Glorious, just hold on, okay?
Mhm.
Even yesterday's video, right? When she brought up the real estate agent, she said some elderly woman or some older
Yes,
woman. Let me tell you, Melody, not Melody, but Bickham, Miss Bickham is
yes.
absolutely stunning. And she is, I think, younger than Sonya, but I think she's just gone full on gray. But she's a very beautiful woman and clearly is doing well enough that she's got paid off new Mercedes and
Right.
has money to throw around to this woman's boyfriend. And um Sonya's weird, but
Well, Sonya
that
clearly feels, she clearly feels challenged by these other ladies that are doing much better than her. She's trying
right.
to. I mean, clearly that's it, and you can tell by the way. Again, that's an immaturity that she has within her. So I mean, that's kind of a given. But I want the court to happen so I can see we can lay these all out and we can find out what exactly transpired because some of this sounds. I tell you, some of the money issues, the money exchanges. It's just it. I just have a lot of questions on it. I just do.
I think the story about someone reaching, so first of all, the person, this alleged person who's reaching out to her, giving her breadcrumbs and clues on how
I don't
to
believe
clear
I don't believe
Nesto.
that. I don't
I don't
believe that.
believe it either. Whether someone's reaching out to her or not, I don't know that they have anything to do with Erica King. Um, that being, I think Erica King has some sort of deal on the table, and she has been well instructed to leave
Of,
those people alone.
of
And
course.
I don't think she's dumb enough with her current health conditions to mess around even to stick her pinky toe on the YouTube streets. I really doubt that she's even doing, and I don't think she's dumb enough to identify herself, even if she's in the mist right now. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
she knows well enough to stay out of the way because um people are watching. But so when she talked about Bickham in that video, he acknowledged, he said, "Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about," or however he said it. He basically copped to knowing who she is and knowing what Sonya was referring to. Like there's no way he can get on a stand and say, I don't know what she's talking about, or I didn't do that. I wonder, is it just because Nesto is so dumb?
No,
Like
but
he's
but no, but Sonya has done that multiple times. She keeps saying, "I don't understand why they're doing this to you. People have relationships. It's civil. It's civil." She keeps saying that. She basically is, she and he
she's like
always he kind of
brainwashing
she's
him.
well, she is getting him to admit that again, and getting
Okay,
him
so
to
you don't
admit that
necessarily
it
think
actually
she's
happened.
convincing him. She
No,
is making him feel comfortable with
correct,
the premise that he did nothing wrong so
correct.
that he'll be more open to. So okay, so where I feel like sometimes when people say things over and over and over and over again, they're trying to brainwash
No,
you.
you
But
cannot brainwash him. She's trying to put a narrative out there that these were relationships and that turned sour, and now the women want to hurt
so
him.
she's basically socializing the
Correct.
concept that
Correct.
what he did was okay,
Correct.
and
Well, no, 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 no,
that
no.
we're
What she's
not,
saying
it's
is
that
what
it's not a criminal matter,
it's
it's a
not
civil
criminal. It's
matter.
civil matter.
Okay.
Not that he didn't do it. That it's civil. She keeps saying that whatever it is, it's civil. She doesn't
Why
say that he didn't do it.
does she not realize that just
No, she
because, number
doesn't.
one, that just because you say it's civil doesn't make it so, and
Correct.
the fact that you're doing this could actually get him time?
Correct. she
Like, you're
she's not
stupid.
right.
This
Right.
is this is like that movie. Did you ever see the movie Raising Arizona?
Yes.
They stole the baby.
Hmm.
Nicolas Cage and a bunch of other anybody who has never seen that movie Raising Arizona, it was a bunch of dumb people who conspired to do a caper. They wanted to steal this very important baby. You guys have got to watch it. It's so funny, but it's a bunch of dummies. This is giving me Raising Arizona meets Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That's the movie right there.
You're right, scoundrels.
It's
Uh,
just it's awful.
it
Um,
is.
so the bankruptcy thing got on my nerves last night. The questioning about the marriage got me yesterday too, because she told a very poor retelling of a situation that happened on Love and Hip Hop. And it also made me think, you've never been married, because she basically stated that this person, this celebrity, basically filed her marriage license like 3 years after the fact. And anybody who's ever pulled a marriage license before to get married knows that they will let you know, and it's stated on your license, you have X number of days to return this to seal the marriage, to basically confirm the marriage. Like, you have X number of days to have a ceremony, have the documents signed, and return them for the marriage to be validated. And for someone who she says she was married 4 months once upon a time, it makes me not even believe that she was ever even married, because any that's just kind of a random information that almost anyone would know, especially if you've been married. To
I
think
think the
that someone would file a marriage document 3 years later, she was again trying to beat around the bush, ask him, "Are you really married?"
I think the problem is they don't have anything else to talk about.
Yes.
So she basically just starts pulling up information that she hears from the blogs to talk about. He wants to talk about, what are you doing to get me out of here? She wants to
Right.
talk about what she's hearing on the outside. So she throws and she goes into kind of girl talk, gossip mode, and she's flipping her
Mhm.
hair, playing with those tracks, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Uh, and she's just throwing everything out there to him. You can tell by his expression he's really not interested in that. He really wants to know, what are you doing to kind of to get me out. That's kind of how I see it, the way I see it on the screens. uh, but she's just kind of talking about any and everything, and then she kind of goes off on tangents. I mean, it's almost like she goes into self-talk, and you can
Yes.
just talk. You can talk about anything. All these crazy things in your head. You just kind of start talking, and that's why it sounds nuts to us, uh, because these are things that we're not supposed to hear. It was just
Like people's
between.
little idiosyncrasies,
Correct.
like her idiosyncrasies that may make him feel like she's cute, her twitching nose or whatever she does. Yeah, like these aren't things that we would normally see if someone is encountering a stranger or someone that they don't know. She would be more like ready to have a conversation, and not just be, she's very free when she's sitting there talking to him. She's fidgeting, she doesn't keep a good posture. Like I was saying earlier, if you watch the video they just put up, PCFP, with Mariah and Young Thug, that is obviously a real relationship of two people who are involved with each other. They love each other. Yes, they're talking about random stuff. They weren't talking about his case. But they were talking, they were talking like about jewelry or whatever, but it it was, I love you, I miss you, I can't wait till you're out. Let me see your arms. Oh yeah, look, your arms are getting big. And I mean, just stuff that you would think that a boyfriend and girlfriend would say to each other.
Right.
And just on the level of Nesto and
But she
Sonya
main
talking.
she maintains that they're not a boyfriend and girlfriend couple.
Right. But I can't wait to see you, or I can still see my feet and I can handle other things, and just the little innuendos that they
Mhm.
pass back and forth between each other, even just two friends. You know what I mean? Like him and Daryl. Did you see the call with him and Daryl and members?
I have not seen him and Daryl. I
Okay.
have not seen that call yet.
So it was a 5-minute call. It was very short, and Daryl kept it very much on business. Nesto, of course, wanted to start talking his talk, and Daryl gave him the cut it at the, you know what I mean, like the hand kind of back and forth at the neck, like cut it. He's like, "How are you?" He's like, "I'm okay. Here's my number. Call me if you need anything. You take care." And I'll like, "Okay, brother." Like it was very short, to the point. I came to check on you, lay eyes on you, and that's it. Sir took
Hmm.
off. He was there for 5 minutes.
Is
Because
Daryl his
he doesn't,
brother
I don't think
or
so.
just a
I think
friend?
that's his best friend, the one who he
Okay.
asked to be his best man or be in his
Okay.
wedding. And he said he didn't want to be in it because he knew that it was going to be photographed and all that stuff. And he said he
Ah.
didn't want to be in that. So um I think he no showed to the wedding, but he declined to be in the wedding party. But I don't think he even showed up to the wedding.
Hmm. Okay. So you know people like that. I understand.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
he, for a reason, like I said, I don't know what Daryl does. If Daryl might be someone who, he went one way and Nestor went another way in life. I mean, that happens.
That's true.
Someone who's on the good side of the law and Nestor just keeps messing up and getting in trouble,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's still his friend. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's that type of situation, but Daryl seemed to be giving kind of, well dressed, well groomed type. I mean, I don't really know, because Nestor was all those things too, a little bit for the most part. But Sir definitely kept it very short, to the point, and took off. And I think he's got one other visit with him. And these were all early on when Nesto first got in. But I don't know. I'm sure they'll put up the next one. But this visit was like literally 5 minutes. Um, but yeah, Sonia is, we're seeing a different side of Sonia. Tell me what you think of her demeanor and her presentation. I just feel like we've seen the very edited, the very filtered Sonya right now. With phone calls from prison, we get to see like bad lighting, we get to see more of a truer view of
Right. But I'm
someone
not
who is very consumed with their
with their
appearance. I mean, it's
looks.
just
Right.
weird. It's strange.
But we're not surprised at that. You
No,
know when so
no.
you're not really surprised at that. You know the filters are there for her own channel and things. So I'm not surprised by any of that. What I again, it's just what I thought. It's just what we all kind of know. But you're
Hmm.
seeing it
It's
for yourself now.
confirmation.
It's a
Thank you for
confirmation.
saying it
You
like that.
go.
It's validating and confirming the data that we'd already collected over all of this time. So great way to
Correct.
put that. Thank you. Because it still was feeling like it was baffling to me, but kind of stating it like that, we've already had the data. This is just a validation of the data and the information we already know about her. So yes, okay. I feel like
Correct.
I can accept that better now, because I'm just
Yeah.
like, what is wrong with her? But
Right.
it's
If you
like
know.
we already knew this. Yes.
Correct. Right. And she doesn't look as young. And once you see her, she doesn't. I don't think she's small, and I think that helps with the illusion of being much younger.
Her
But
stature,
her
yes.
stature. But I'm just listening to what she's saying, and I'm looking at his face, at what she's telling him, and again, there is a weird uh, gamesmanship going on. She's telling him things, and again, he doesn't want to hear a lot of that gossip. He wants to know what are you really doing to get me out of here? What I would love to see, though, if we could put again, if cameras were in the house, is I would love to let him I'd love to see him be released and actually live with her, and see how long that would last. Um,
I really think we talked about this a little bit maybe last week. We're like, okay, if
mhm.
he gets out, how long is it going to be for her to go live on Instagram, where he's not supposed to be on social media? How quick it'll be for him to get reported because he just walked through the kitchen, and he's going to have to shut her down on social media, and how annoyed she's going to be because she can't basically sell her access to him for her to continue to build up her social media, that she just can't seem to kick off the ground. Like, I think she's also very annoyed that I know I definitely have um really tried to drive home how miserable of a fail her social media launch has been. Her social media is a disaster. It's a disaster.
Because she has nothing to say,
Yeah.
and everything she says is either a half truth, a lie, or a misinterpretation of something. So
Mm.
that's the problem. You can't depend on anything that she says. And again, she's trying to push a narrative that there's a couple of narratives she's pushing. One, that whatever he did was all civil, not criminal.
Mhm.
That uh, that the more serious charges were just people that were just disgruntled or mad. Uh, and that's really kind of just that's without really knowing
And then
any
everyone else is a
facts.
liar.
Everybody else is a
So
liar,
so it's
right? Without knowing
civil,
any,
people are
yeah,
mad. The girl is a scammer. The young
yeah,
girl who he was involved with was a scammer, and
is a
then the other
scammer.
two are mad because he disappeared and they were in relationships, and they're only doing this because they were also talked into it by Detective Natalie Fields, or Officer Fields, talked them into it, into filing criminal. She doesn't even believe that they filed criminal reports on their own free will.
Well, I think what she's
Um,
saying is they filed it, but if they wanted to back out, they kind of hold it over their heads and say, hey, if you don't go through with this, we're going to charge
File
you.
charges are she's and then so she's also low key a Karen. Because how are you going to tell a victim that if you don't go through if you have a witness or an uncooperative witness now, or victim, they don't want to cooperate, the police are not going to turn around and tell you that you're going to now have charges. It would be a different story if maybe you two were in cahoots with something, but someone who is an innocent person who now all of a sudden wants to drop charges or doesn't want to be involved in the criminal pursuit, the police are not going to turn around and tell you now all of a sudden you're going to get charged with something. That's where Sonya, to me, and her Law and Order TV law license gets flushed down the toilet. Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
So is the GoFundMe gone? Is that true?
That's Yes, that's what I looked it up this morning. Hold on a second. Okay, guys. Let me see. I don't know if I'm still going to be, if you look it up, I think it's just, I had the actual link to it, and it's broken. It says it doesn't exist anymore.
Yes,
Oh, I
Bonita.
think it's
Everything
coming.
she says is a lie. Just about everything Sonya
Yeah,
says is
I
a
think
lie.
it's I think,
And she's lying to him. That's the problem. She lies so much, she's lying to him.
well,
You're lying to
yesterday
yourself.
in video number 2, where she has her hair pressed, that video where she was talking about the bloggers and all of that, it
Yes.
really, like, you could tell she was tripping over her words, and it was giving, this is a lie scenario. Like, everything you're saying is a lie. When I click on the Ernest dash Williams dash legal dash fees, which is the I'll drop the link so you guys can go validate yourselves. It says fundraiser not found. Please check URL. Try again. Alternatively, you can browse fundraisers currently receiving the most donations worldwide. So I don't know. I don't know if she changed. I mean, I don't know what she's done. I mean, if it's down, it's down. She could have changed the address. Let's okay. So yeah, I mean, everything has failed miserably. She said she was going to do her whole social media launch for Nesto and herself has been a complete failure. The GoFundMe is a fail. The podcast was never a podcast. That's a fail. Her launching interest in her social media was a fail. Oh, so Nyla from Grown Woman Vibes
Mm,
contributed a few, she contributed what, 20 $10 $20, and put up a comment, and she's stating that it was refunded. That's what they're
okay.
saying.
So she
So
gave the
yeah,
money back to
it's
everyone.
gone. So either
Okay.
GoFundMe took it down or she took it down. Everything is a fail. The fundraising between his people is a fail. Her pretending that they're not in a relationship is a fail. Let's go back to Shirley really quick, though, what you were saying about Shirley and Dre, and then I'm gonna let
Yes.
you go. I think this. I think that yes, Shirley's response wasn't fair. Like, let's just say him kind of, strong arming her for an answer. Can I come home? I first of all, I think the audacity of him to even ask that was it was crazy. Like
Well,
this
he's only doing what he's always done.
he's
So
doing yeah, so he's rolling with the behavior that has been okay.
correct.
According to like Dre, it's been about you for the last few years, right?
Correct. And he has never no one he is if you've listened to him very carefully when he's talking to Shirley, he is always probing her to find out what does she know? What have you heard?
Right.
What's going on out there? If Shirley has not once let on that she's heard anything. So he doesn't know, or at least he's not sure.
Mm.
So and
Because
trust
she
me,
hasn't confronted him. And Shirley is
correct.
cool as a cucumber.
Even
Shirley is
yes,
not going to confront him about having an affair on these recorded lines. She would rather probably bite through her tongue or lose her front tooth before she confronts him on anything that she think is going to be repeated out here in the world. She's just not
like
going to
I like I said, Shirley is a trained. Again, I've said it before. She's a
do it.
trained communicator. No, not the average person doesn't have that kind of discipline. You would let on that you know something. You would say something.
I mean,
Most
she's
people
angry. She's
would.
clearly angry with him.
Most of us cannot can't would not be able to restrain ourselves in that manner.
Right.
We are going to say something to let the other person know that we are not happy.
Right.
And she has not done that. So,
I think he knows
um,
she's not happy, but she goes a little hot and cold. She's still somewhat receptive to him, but she takes subtle digs. And I think when she was talking about her apartment and she made that comment, well, now you're not going to get to see it at all. I don't think she necessarily meant that as like a you know, like like the ultimate diss, but knowing what we know now, yeah, she meant that. I mean, that may have just been a slip because he was once again kind of criticizing and having a little laugh at her expense, and she kind of just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well now you're not going to get to see it at all."
I think
So,
somebody asked about him trying to blackmail her about going to the media. I don't think he was trying to blackmail her. I think he was trying to. At least it didn't seem that way to me. He was trying to blackmail her. I think he was
I think
trying
he was
to.
just ready to talk about what he knew about Steve Harvey and whatever, and he was going to just, you know, but maybe coming
I
from live from the jail cell talking about Steve Harvey just looks stupid. It just looks kind of like, okay.
I think what he was trying to tell Shirley is, yeah, again, I don't think it was blackmail in a blackmail sense. I think he was trying to say that if I get out, I'm gonna have to fight this, and the only way I can fight it is is in the public sphere, which of course Shirley does not want at all. So yeah, maybe it could be a
But
sort of
but
blackmail. I
fast
understand how you.
forward Fast forward, it's already out here and she's okay. You know what I'm
But he
saying? Like,
doesn't. But he doesn't know that the information that he doesn't have the benefit of understanding the environment because he's in jail. He's locked up. He doesn't have access to the internet. He does not know what's happening out here. He doesn't know these phone calls how they sound to us out here. He doesn't have that. He only knows what Sonya tells him in his own imagination and what little information that he gets. He doesn't know that. He is
mm,
in a
okay.
he's in a dark box and he does not know what's happening outside. He doesn't know. So that's why everyone has an advantage over him when they talk to him. That's why it just for example, he knows the phone calls are being recorded, but he doesn't know what this sounds like to you and me. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that we're comparing all these different calls at different times with different people. He doesn't know that. I think Sonia is trying to tell him or kind of tells him, but I don't think she really understands it. I don't think he really
Well,
understands it.
she conflates everything.
Well, that's
So
true.
and it's not even two or three things, it's a gobbledygook of so many things that I think he's just confused, like between a podcast, her channel, her endeavor to make money for legal fees, the bloggers, going to see Tisha K, going, oh, they said I was Claudia Jordan's got, like, she's constantly throwing something at him, and he had a bigger Instagram than she does. He had an
Yes.
Instagram presence. How does, not saying he doesn't know about Instagram, but he knows a little bit about social media. I would imagine he was controlling his own page. Um, I just
Instagram is not what you and Nyla and Sylvia are doing. Y'all are doing something much bigger than that. This is the
right. I mean,
Instagram thing on your
we're doing
phone.
social media, like
Right.
we're
You're doing
doing
social
social
media
media at large.
and
He's just
comment
doing an
and comment
Instagram page.
right and commentary and dialogue and definitions and documents. Instagram is just photos. It's just a photo album. It's like, hey, look where I did. This is you can stand in front of. I can stand in front of a Statue of Liberty and say I went to New York City and not really, that's all that means.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Which yeah, it's not painting. It's not giving a story. What you're doing is actually documenting what's happening in real time.
Right.
That's a huge difference than Instagram, which is just, hey, I was here. This is what I ate. You can, that can be skewed into anything you want it to be. And it's always
Right.
positive. Instagram is always positive. It's always good stuff, right? It's never bad. I
Pretty,
mean,
yeah, right.
for
Pretty
the most
much. For the
part,
most part, yeah.
I'm not going to put the F I got on my test on Instagram. Say, hey, this is my, this is what I did. These are
Unless
my
it's just
grades
kind
this
of
year.
like, yeah,
All right.
and some people would, but that's going to be their content, maybe them fumbling and failing, but or,
Not when your brand is success.
right, right, right.
And see what I'm saying? That's the difference. So that's how in his mind that's what he's thinking. So what you're doing is far more prevalent and more and more outreaching than he understands it to be. And Sonya doesn't really Sonya doesn't really help him understand that.
No, it's
They
just the
think
bloggers, the bloggers, the
right, just the
bloggers.
bloggers. That's it.
It's
They think that
and
if they talk in code when they're talking and not use names, they think that's really all you have to do. They don't know
they're,
that that sounds just as bad.
oh my God. It's just as bad. It's just as bad. Are you watching the Adelsons? It's just as bad as Charlie telling Donna, like, that Wendy doesn't appreciate that people have done her a huge favor. It's like, oh, really?
You
Oh,
know,
okay.
he
Okay.
he
Huge
thinks by
favor.
saying them folks. We don't know who them folks are.
Right. That we haven't caught on to
We
who
haven't
Pinocchio is yet.
because he doesn't
Pinocchio.
know that we are able to see all these things and put all these pieces together. He does
Right.
not
We have
understand that.
like, there's like
No, he
a
doesn't.
whole, oh my God, there's been a whole community around this nonsense. Well, Joey, I've got Denise and Glorious behind stage, so I'm gonna let them on. But it's always so much fun talking to you. Like, just, I mean, I really appreciate, getting some time talk this out a little bit because it's always so much fun.
So do
Um,
I have
is-
to vent at times. I'm glad you're
oh
here to
my
do that
god,
because
oh my
I
god.
start to, yeah.
We have to talk about it more. Definitely, we want to see you down in the comments more. And tomorrow is call-in day. We just happened to do call-in today too. Okay,
Okay.
Joey, have a good one. Okay.
Thank you, Fran.
All right. Take
Bye
care. Have
bye.
a good afternoon. Okay. All right. Bye bye. Denise.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, sorry to keep you holding for so long. Glorious, you're next, hon. There was one or two other people backstage, so give about 5 or 10 minutes and then hit the link. I'll drop the link again in like 5 minutes, or like 10 minutes. So let's let Denise and Glorious get some time. So Denise, tell me what's on your mind and welcome.
So, thank you for having me. So, sis, I am the one that emailed you in Instagram. DM'd you rather on
When
IG
did
this
I
morning.
respond or oh this morning?
You
I haven't
did.
even been on there. Oh, I did. Okay.
In
I
regards
try not to
to
even get in there too quick because my God, I get so caught up in Instagram. It's ridiculous. Oh, okay. Yes, 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 yes.
yes,
You sent me, okay, so can I say
yeah,
you sent me some screenshots from I did download them, so I hope you don't mind. The receipts.
right,
You'd made a couple of comments on phone calls from prison
correct.
and you were met with some very
With some,
prickly responses, let's
yes,
say like that. Okay.
yes.
Um,
hmm
so tell us what you want us to know about that. So you think
Well,
that you found Sonya in the comments?
yeah, I'm sure that was Sonya.
Okay.
So what's interesting is this not the first time I've gotten a comment. So a couple of months ago, I was well, probably not a couple, probably a month and a half ago, I was on one of Sylvia's lives, and I was speaking about Sonya. But also there was a live that I was on where I was talking about how Nesto slid in my DM back in
Mm.
2017.
Mm.
Um, because I do like styling, personal styling, wardrobe consulting, more so than outside of my 9 to 5. He slid in my DM and was like, "Oh, I really like your style. You should open a boutique. I have some friends in Dallas that could help you with that." So immediately, of course, I knew who he was. I wasn't interested in opening a boutique, and I just told him, "Hey, I'm not interested in opening a boutique. Thanks for the compliment, blah blah blah." But I noticed from there he started liking all of my pictures and randomly sending me messages.
Mm.
Yeah, and so I spoke about that on Sylvia's page, one of her lives, and so I think Sonya's been in the bushes a couple times with sending me stuff and rebuttaling on my post, but that's neither here nor there. She's a lurker and stalker and all that other stuff,
But
but
she
more
doesn't have any way of knowing about that history that you'd had some interactions with Nesto. She
no.
wouldn't have had any way of knowing that. It's just
mm,
kind of
mm,
just a coincidence that she's coming for you in the comments. She doesn't know that. She didn't know that until now, and she doesn't even know who you are
no,
because I
other
haven't put up
than
your comments. So she won't be able to make that connection. Put it that way.
No, other than the fact that if she was listening to Sylvia's live and she heard me speak about that, and she followed my YouTube page, which
Oh, did you
um,
put that out at that time?
yes, well, I
Okay.
was on her live, and so my name was connected. So I don't know if she did or didn't.
Okay.
I do know that there are some pictures that I had when he was reaching out where he liked my pictures and all.
Mhm.
And we know that she's a Instagram stalker as well, and she
Okay.
goes so.
Trying to see who he was following because she has nothing else
Mhm.
to do. So
She
I
has
hear you.
nothing else to do.
She's looking at his follows and she's seeing what's happening. She's going person by person to see did he like pictures over here? things like
Mhm.
that. I'm following you now because I don't. I mean, even though I'm a blogger, I don't really do that. I mean, sometimes like I have to like, oh yeah, let me go look at da 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 da. That's not my first course of action. It's
Mhm.
to, but yes, I see what you're saying now because yes, for
Yeah,
some
and I just
people,
believe
we don't all internet the same. Some people that's the first thing they do. Some people that's the last thing they do. Right?
right, exactly. And I believe she has a lot of time on her hands.
Yes, ma'am.
And I remember on one of the calls, she, when she talked about how she was looking for him and she was all on Shirley's page and trying to see if she was so that's why I believe like she's like a stalker. Like what kills me about Sonya, and I was really irritated about her interaction and everything with those videos yesterday, is the fact that she believes Nesto at 100% and 0% to the other victims. And we're talking about not one, two, or three, four, or five other people. There are a dozen other people that, have had a bad encounter or are suing him or allegations and all of that. But she doesn't believe any of those people. She believes him to the fullest, or she wants us to think that. And I'm sitting here like, how is it that you can give this man that you don't know, that we do know that he has cheated on his wife? You can give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's innocent, but you can't give any of these victims the benefit of the doubt and say they may be right. I'm not understanding that. And I think it really has to be something like mentally wrong with her. Like it has to be, because I'm 50 and I'm looking at her like, girl, it's no way you are 50. You think like, I have a 20-year-old daughter. I would, excuse me, go upside her head if I heard her acting and responding the way that this 50-year-old woman is about certain things. She doesn't like black women, but then she says that the system is works against blacks, and she blames the bloggers for the negative media response to this, and it's like you can't be that delusional. You just can't be that delusional. She's insecure, she has low self-esteem, and one of the things is she looks to Nesto for validation in anything. If he talks about her hair, if he says that she got a small waist, she looks for validation from him because she has nothing going on in her life.
Well, I think that so just to give you a little bit of relief on like I can't believe she believes him. We don't really I'm going to just say this. I don't know that she believes him. What I know is that she's riding with him till the wheels fall off. And I
Mhm.
think she likes him enough that
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what he's done. And as long as she keeps putting a positive spin on it to make
Mhm.
it not as bad as what it really is, or him not be as guilty as he could be or is, then she's okay with squaring that up. I think she's also had enough negative interactions with women to feel like most women are liars and most women don't tell the truth and people run game because that's how she operates. You see, she gets to Atlanta and what does she do? She immediately finds people who are operating out here in this world just like her. Carl
Mhm. And
Thomas is
chaos.
the girl who had Carl Thomas baby with a
Mhm.
one night stand and can't
Mhm.
understand why Carl Thomas can't stand her because
Mhm. Mhm.
she's probably a lot to handle. I'm gonna say it like that.
Mhm.
Um, and is homeless with the kids, right? Then the
Mhm.
friend Madison that she and I think she was talking about Madison,
With the whole
who lives
staying
in the
in a
hotel with
hotel.
her mother
Mhm. Mhm.
because what's her name? Whatever her name is, Janicia, whatever her name,
She
I
has
forget.
a high
She
apartment that's really expensive. At least that's what she said on the live that time.
Now, yeah, I think she didn't have I think she was homeless at the time she did the Tasha K. but
Okay. Mhm.
so I'm talking about Carl Thomas's baby mom.
Mhm. Mhm.
Either she's staying in a shelter, she was staying in a shelter. I don't know what her situation is, but she landed in Atlanta and found some very interesting friends. Okay.
Yes.
And she's just one of them. Like she's
Yeah.
with a bunch of women who are all operating in similar ways, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And Sonya is not at potential. I think she feels like she missed the boat on some things. And I think she has some contempt for women who do better than her.
Mhm.
I think she feels like her hair is her winning edge because
Mm.
she's got some hair that moves,
Mhm.
that she thinks she's special or something.
Mhm. That is
Like
long, and
nobody
I'm like,
cares. That's
girl,
not long.
that's shoulder
That's
length.
shoulder length. Like that's not
Right.
long. That's
Right.
shoulder length. That's
Right.
and it's not to discount
It's
it. It's just
exactly.
shoulder length hair that moves. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, okay, like everyone's hair moves. Like
Right.
that's like it's like Sonya, please stop it.
Right.
She gets to a petty place,
Mhm.
especially with black women, to me,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
she's so petty. It almost makes you feel a little petty for dealing with a woman like her. I don't
Mhm.
I don't and it's not personal. I just don't like her character in this
Right.
Ernesto story. I don't really like her character much. Just because of all the things I just mentioned. But I don't know that Sonya doesn't believe anything. I just know that Sonya wants Nesto, and I think she's going to do what she has to do to get this man in her clutches. That's it.
Right.
Like, I
I
don't know
agree.
if she cares if he took someone's money. I don't think she cares. Sonya has been dealing with a certain type of person for a long time. Someone said in the comments, and I highlighted it. Someone said, I normally don't throw people's trauma in their face, but I think she said something that resulted by her in her shooting. She didn't say something. What she did was she was messing around with a drug dealer contract killer. She
Right.
was dealing with somebody who didn't mind running around with guns, taking people out. They were running deals. They were doing all kinds of stuff at a very early age. I don't
Mhm.
know that she said something specifically, but what she was doing was dealing with people who were in crime,
Exactly.
and she was dealing with a drug dealer, and not every drug dealer is just some nice weed guy. Like,
Right.
she was dealing with people who were dealing in money, going robbing people, dealing in gun trade. She was dealing with stuff that is a nightmare for, like, if your mom was around. And also,
Right.
let's remember, I don't think her mom was around, or both of her parents were cheating. She said her father was a
Her
cheater.
father had
Then she tells
a
the
lot of
story of
kids.
her sister, not being the daughter of her father. So obviously her mother was cheating. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
sis had a lot going on. And when
Right.
you look at her father's obituary, there's a bunch of kids listed and there's three different sets of last names. So, like, just to make it make sense, Sonya has and I'm not saying this on some Crimea River type stuff. It just helps me understand that ma'am has had a lot of different experiences that I don't really know anything about.
Right.
And she seems to want to do anything. She seems to want to do anything to have what she wants, and she wants Nesto, and that's a very dangerous type woman. So make no mistake, it's not just on some lying. Sis will put someone in a jail cell before Nesto has to stay in a jail cell. Like,
Mhm.
she's on some lying like that, and she's on some frivolous lawsuits. She's on some using whatever talking point to prove or validate whatever she wants. She thinks the government is corrupt, but she wants to sit up here and file frivolous lawsuits because she's mad someone called her a stripper. That is a frivolous
Frivolous
lawsuit.
lawsuit. It's gonna
You don't
be
even have a job.
laughed
You
at.
don't have a reputation. You don't have a social media presence. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter if someone called you a stripper, and the fact that the person who called you a stripper apologized and I'm assuming stopped. You have to prove damages. You have to prove intent to cause you damages. I
Mhm.
mean, there's no threshold here. There was
Right.
nothing before she came, and there's nothing since she came. Like, the woman thinks she knows a lot, but she knows
About
almost nothing.
everything.
Yeah. Oh, she
Yes.
knows basically nothing. So she's kind of like a little like all bark, no bite.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing I thought was funny how she kept commenting about, a baby and him having a baby. And I'm like, that's because in her mind, somebody said something and she kind of believes it. So she's looking again for him to deny the claim or make her feel better about it. And I'm like, girl, why don't you just ask him instead of continuing to bring it up? He brought it up. He was like, no, no way possible. And again, Sonya, that just validates that he's been a cheater. Not he didn't say, well, I messed around with anybody or whatever. He was like, no, that couldn't be possible because I got clipped, and all that.
Yeah. I mean,
It,
the fact that he was so quick to say, I got a vasectomy, to me makes me think that he did. A
oh
man
yeah,
who's running around here, who's free with his penis, who has 6 children already, getting a vasectomy does not surprise me.
exactly.
Um,
It's
if
very
it's a whole different
believable.
time now. I think they've perfected that surgery, and maybe it's, as far as inconceivable as it might be for some men to have that type of surgery, they wince when they think about it. There's some men who have lots of kids who enjoy getting around town and dashing all over the place and don't want those problems.
Mhm. Mhm.
So maybe because he's a professional at what he does, dashing, maybe
Right.
that was just that was like someone who likes to take pictures on Instagram getting a BBL.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's a Dick Dasher's BBL.
Right. Right. Well, I enjoyed Dre and going off on Nesto. I think Dre probably held in a lot over the years because it sounds like Dre turned his life around and has been, doing better. Um he is trying to be the friend to Nesto, but he has probably sat back and saw a lot and didn't say much. But now, with Nesto being behind bars and, Shirley going through all of that, I think Dre is like, nah, enough is enough, man. You have probably done a lot of things she doesn't even know about, and Dre probably knows about it, and he's telling Nesto, man, man up, sit back, you can't do anything, allow her the opportunity to digest it however she wants to and however long it may take. And like Dre said, you have no power right now. You can't do anything. You can't even, you have to wake up and go to sleep when they tell you to, or at least pretend like you sleep. You
Mhm.
have no right and authority to do anything on your own right now.
Mm.
And so, in doing so, you need to allow her the opportunity to figure this out however she wants to. If she wants to
I
tell you, I don't know for the next year, it is what it is
But
because
it's
you
not
made
even relevant at this point
it's not.
because he's
It's
not
not like
out.
he's getting out.
He's not
Right.
out. So it's kind of like if I tell you yes today, it could be no tomorrow. Glorious, give me just another minute. I think, look, this is the deal. Nesto has to understand that just because it hadn't came out yet at whatever point, to the point that it is today, doesn't mean that Shirley was not fully briefed on what was going on and what was getting ready to come out. Because
Right.
even if she was relying on maybe someone, a lawyer consulting with her privately, if Steve got his little, whoever does his little due diligence
Mm-hmm.
and did some nose some picking around to see what was going on and what could be coming out, or whoever they have in some type of crisis management, she's been briefed at this point as to the Sonia's existence. She
Yeah.
knows fully well now,
Absolutely.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she knew then.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she probably, I'm sure she knows because she's media trained, all those things,
She knows.
everything.
Yes.
At the bottom line, I think she is the type of person that she would rather bite through her tongue and bust her front tooth before she allows this to be recorded on these phone calls. She's not going to do it. She's
Yep.
not going to show, she didn't bother to show up to go see him because that would
Yep.
have been there too.
Yep.
I'm sure she's probably thinking this week, I'm so glad I never went to see him
Yep.
because it would be on a visit, right?
Exactly.
Daryl is kicking himself right now because
Mhm.
he's on the internet.
Mhm.
And Sonia is sitting around somewhere because everybody is cracking and we have 50 plus visits that I cannot wait to drop.
Me too.
Oh, for the 50 versions of that stupid ponytail, those
Right.
ugly
And
outfits,
those
her
faces.
insecurity, her
Oh
lack of
my.
conversation, and
Yes.
her sealing the deal for her boo thing to get some time. Because
Mhm.
if he doesn't get convicted just for the fact of being stupid, he's not going to get convicted for anything else. I mean, it's unfortunate for him. I don't really feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel like
You
for
made
what
the
he's put
bed.
out, this is his
Mhm.
karma. This is his version of karma.
Mhm. I
Um,
agree.
Based on what he this is the seeds, these are the seeds you planted, and this is the harvest. This is what
The
happens.
harvest of it. Yep.
So you're gonna have to learn the hard way, and you may even end up doing some time because you had to run your mouth.
Mhm.
You couldn't just sit and be satisfied talking to your wife. You had to take up with this woman on the phone. Nobody told him that he had to talk to her every day.
No, and she's not. She's not helping. She's
She's not
not.
helping. She's
Her mouth
hurting.
is not working
Yeah, and
to his
you're
advantage.
like he is completely he might have been able to recover his relationship with Shirley even
Mhm.
through all of the
All of
allegations.
this, I
But
agree.
all of this carrying on for the past year with this low life,
Mhm. It's
it's
caused more
it's a
damage.
wrap. It's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Yep.
And now she's sitting up there talking about his own son. It's crazy. Anyway, Denise, I'm gonna let you go because we had a couple other people call in that
Yes.
hung up. Is there
Absolutely.
anything else you wanted to say? Because I don't have no one's holding it this minute, but is there anything else you wanted to say
Oh
before you
no,
go?
no. There's nothing else. I
Okay.
enjoy this. Helps me through my day. So
It's fun.
it is. It
I
is.
mean, what they
And
have to understand is this is entertainment for us, and this is
absolutely.
revolving around a future case, possibly potential
Mhm.
indictments
Mhm.
and true crime. At the end of the day, ain't nobody picking on Nesto.
Not
This
at
fell
all.
into my lap because of the true crime aspect. And I did know who Shirley was. Shirley is not my idol. Let's make no mistake. Ain't nobody
Right.
idolizing over Shirley. Not
No.
to say I'm not in broadcasting. So talk to someone though who's been in broadcasting. They might be like, "Oh my God, she's a maverick. She's this,
Right.
she's that." So it's not to discount Shirley at all. I think she's fabulous, but she's not my idol. Okay,
Right.
she's and
Right.
but for someone she is though. So to not take away from that, she's a very accomplished, successful woman.
Exactly. She is. And she's beautiful, and she has carried herself well for her age. But I
And
agree.
she's made mistakes. Like
Exactly,
clearly,
like
this
we
this
all
even
have.
adds to her humanity.
Yes. Yes. But
Everyone's not sitting out here perfect, and there's nothing. And this isn't about shaming her because she's not. This was on some Shirley's husband's in jail.
right.
What?
Right.
That's what it was for me.
Right.
And then it
Yes.
was, and he's talking to a girlfriend. What
Right.
happened? Like, say
Right.
what now?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
what made this very interesting.
And it continues. The cycle, the
Okay,
saga
and continues
continues.
to be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well,
Um,
thank you, sis. I'll drop down then and allow someone else to come up.
it's been a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, take
Bye
care. Okay.
bye.
All right. See
Bye
you
bye.
later. Okay. Bye bye. Okay, let me drop the link again. I like to try to give everybody their time to get their ideas out. So, um, we will get to a point where it's like speed round. I think anybody can click on that link. So even if you're not in members and mods right now, you should be able to link in. So, um, let's see. Best believe Sheridan ain't letting girl. No, no, she can't. The spell has been broken. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been enough time. Hey, Glorious. Ooh, look at that coat. Okay, girl.
Hey, I had to change it
Yes.
up a little bit. I had to get
Yes,
my
I like
Shirley
that.
on. Anyway, Anyway, so I had to call back because I accidentally dropped off and had to call back. I have my notes, so this is going to be
Okay.
quick because I had to write this
Oh, you're
down.
fine. You're fine. Go
Right.
ahead.
So piggybacking on some of what Joey said and earlier, but let me just say this, and I think that we are missing this a little bit, and even as this, as watchers and stuff like that, we have to look at this big picture of this situation. Just look at the big picture. This is where the interest lies, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that if Sonia's watching, this is my opinion. If Sonia is watching, maybe she can understand this when she makes comments that why would anybody be interested in this? Because it's not normal. Okay, the big picture is not normal. You have
Mhm.
a 55-year-old, and if you look at the demonstration of her life, it is not. This is not in the realm of normality. It's not normal. So, and so we're looking at it that from that perspective, as well, where we're lacking, where are the missing pieces here? Why is this puzzle not fitting? It's weird. It's all around. It's just weird. Her behavior is weird, and and in my opinion, her demonstration of her life is weird. I've never seen this before, and I am in her age range, and I've never seen this before. So that's the one comment
Yeah.
that I wanted to make. That we're not. I don't know that we really, looking at the big picture and just embracing the fact that this is not normal. Another thing, I don't think that that she her procrastination is the reason she doesn't get things done. I don't think that because I think if you've known people in your life, even procrastinators are able to accomplish something sometime.
I mean, it's
Some
probably
things come.
ADD, and the ADD comes through in some procrastination. Um, but I don't know if she's ADD or not. But
I don't even think
the
it's
lack
that.
of follow up and follow through. I mean,
I,
ADD can it can run very, very deep, and it can really have some negative effects on your life if untreated and
yeah,
undiagnosed for a long period of time. Because I mean, keep in mind, this is you grow up with this all the way through life,
right,
and
right.
this is what it can look like at 55. I mean, I
That's
can't
true.
diagnose her, but just
Right.
imagine years on top of years on top of years on top of years.
That's true, and that may explain some of the behavior, in my opinion. But I was just looking at it from this seems to be a case of a mental state. I mean, and that's part of that a mental state, like
Mhm.
a state of delusion, of grandeur delusion that would propel a person to constantly have to say what they're doing and do nothing and do nothing. It's
I
baffling
mean,
to me.
she's doing something, but it's not what we know will get her the results that she wants. She's We don't know everything she's doing, right? We're seeing a very
Right.
small snapshot of what's going on here, but her failure to launch, I think that's what she said a couple weeks ago, which I think
Yeah, I
yes,
did.
they get her
Yeah.
to the launching pad, you know, everything ready to go, and nothing happens. It just fizzles. She is but she's getting something done. She moved from Miami to Atlanta. She found Nesto. She's very focused on what she wants, but she's focused on the wrong thing. She's low potential. She's low potential, and it comes
Wow.
from low self esteem.
Yeah.
So, this low self esteem has her shooting low. She's sees people in her family that are successful, I guess, to a certain degree, or she finds successful in whatever they're doing, and she's like, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Well, you didn't do that. You haven't done that, right? Her whole entire social media launch for Nesto to help him has actually
Yeah.
hurt him. It's been a complete catastrophe disaster. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's over. You know how sometimes you
Overselling.
it's not even underselling. You're not qualified for the job that you have. Did you ever Did you ever get a new job and
Oh
realize
yeah.
I got to step up? Like I came, I had my bad suit on. I wore those killer shoes. The hair was done. And you realize like a little bit of imposter
Oops.
syndrome comes in like, "Oh shit, they just gave me 3 projects and I've got to use these programs I don't even know how to use." And you're all of a sudden like you got to either step up or you
Yeah.
got to just
Cut your
step out.
losses. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that Sonya came to the internet. She's used to being around a bunch of bummish chicks like her, a bunch of low performing, low potential, low intelligence, unsuccessfuls. And she came to the internet and came to a sector that is really straddles true crime, and that's a certain level of intelligence of people who are interested in this type of stuff because we like puzzles, we like to figure
Mhm.
stuff out, we're very
Exactly.
observant. Most of these
That's
people are
it.
professionals, and she
Mhm.
has stumbled into a sector of baddies who are not stupid, who have degrees, who have
Right.
experience, who have jobs, who think, who aren't dumb, who crush goals. You see what I'm
Who
saying?
like
I'm
to
not
put
trying to blow
pieces
everybody's
together.
heads up, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to oversell it, but that's what it is. She
Right.
stumbled into this sector of people who are smart,
Mhm.
smarter than her, and
Mhm.
she's mad because every time she turns around, we're busting her in her lies because she can impress a Carl Thomas's one night stand baby mama cuz look who she's dealing with. But she's
Exactly.
mad when when Anila calls her out, when Fran calls her out, when Sylvia calls her out, when Tasha
Mhm.
K like she's mad.
Right.
She's mad.
Yeah, and she's the, I wrote down, and this is what I was thinking about there, but I have to reconsider about based on our conversation again, that she's a capper. I mean, she's a person that caps and that likes to sell dreams,
Mhm.
and hear herself speak, selling these dreams, and has an expectation that no one is going to look at her and say, "Dude, you're 55 years old and you're
Okay.
still selling pipe dreams." And you've gone, like essentially nowhere that anyone can see, essentially nowhere. So that's one thing. And she's astonished that people find that fascinating. I find it
Yeah.
fascinating. I'm sorry, I do. I find it
No, I mean it
fascinating.
is fascinating. It's
Yeah.
definitely observing her is a fascination. Shayna and Talia, just hold on a second, okay?
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna be.
fascinating.
It
It
is.
really is.
It's
She is a riddle. She's definitely a and she's quite insulted and she's mad that we are looking at her and figuring her out because
Mhm.
she's used to getting away with everything. She's used to tricking people. She's used to she's used to like being smarter
Right.
than other people or at least posing. Like
And
Nesto is
prettier,
very she's
and the
gotten by with her look.
demonstration.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's fading, and that's where the desperation
Oh my
comes in.
God. Is
That's
it?
where oh my goodness, and it's desperate. That's why you have this compensation, or trying to be, overcompensation. I can't think of another word. The fact of her looks. I mean, I'm like, girl,
Like
you're
it's
gonna have to
okay.
have
You're
some
not the first
substance,
attractive woman. Like it's okay, sis. Like relax.
and will not
And
be the
everyone's
last.
not ugly. Like
Yeah,
the fact that you're pretty. Okay, Sonya. Like if that's what you
but what
want to
after
hear,
that?
right. What after that? Or just everyone else is not ugly. Like just because let's just say
Yeah.
you're pretty, right? Does that mean
Mhm.
everybody else there's only one room for one pretty person? See, that's where weird relationships with your dad comes into place. And I think that she had a
Exactly.
bunch of sisters and they were probably all very competitive with each other because she has that type of dialogue. She hates women and both mom was out the house cheating, daddy was out the house cheating. They got siblings with other names. They probably don't even speak to those people. It's probably like, oh, those kids over there, we don't deal with them. She seems like that type. Is there anything else you
Exactly.
had on your list? You
But
went through your
just two
list?
more things. Yeah, just two more things, and then
Mhm.
I'm going to drop back down because this is where I had to slightly disagree with Joey on this one. Is that
Mhm.
about the response about Shirley's response about coming home? I had said this before, but now I really kind of like stand on this. Her response. Her response to him was a no. Her response was a no, but it was a no on her terms. And I loved it. I was here for it. I swear I was here for it because Shirley reminds me of the women of my generation and a little bit older. I'm not going to let you know nothing. I'm not going to let you know what the right hand is doing. Period. My
Okay.
answer to you is what it is. I need to think about this. I'm not willing to give you a solid answer, but my actions is showing you it's a no.
Okay.
My mouth may be saying a maybe, but my actions are showing you a no. And I love it. I was here for it. Don't give him nothing. No answer. My no answer is enough for me. I mean, my lack of an answer is enough for you.
Okay. I mean, that's
So,
fair.
period.
That's fair.
And and this is where I kind of agreed with the fact that, and this is a Dre. I love Dre, too, but this is kind of a side eye to Dre a little bit as well, because you knew him, you knew him, and when he said that comment about you said that you never loved her anyway. When he said that, my heart first of all dropped when he said that, and then secondly, I'm like, okay, so you've been holding that. I mean, so I'm kind of side eyeing you a little bit now, just a little bit. I have a difference of opinion because I think that you know he was hanging with this dude. He was hanging with this dude and knew who he was. And knew who he was. Yeah, and that's it.
Mm.
That's all I got. And that's all I got. And I'm gonna drop down. Y'all take that and put that in the comments.
But I mean, look, let's look at it this way too. This generation and older, maybe, and I don't feel like I fall into that bucket,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
from this standpoint of just marrying someone, that's just a good catch. I believed in love, and that's what I needed to have to be married. But there are people out here who do that, even younger generation. So there are people out here who's like, he's a good provider. She can have babies. Like, there's people who are marrying for many different reasons. That's why there's these marrying dating shows. So the fact that he didn't love her doesn't mean he couldn't grow to love her and he couldn't
Right.
respect her, because there's still arranged marriages today where someone doesn't even love the person yet. Like, they just know we're going to do this damn thing and we're together for a reason. Now, him marrying her at 50 and he's been married to multiple women, this is weird. This is not an arranged marriage. This is someone
Right.
who's not new to marriage. So marrying a woman you don't love. Okay. Well, that's, look, again, these are the seeds you planted and this is the
Yeah.
harvest. So this is
But
what
then
you did, and not because of you doing that to Shirley are you here, but it's all of these things. Like, you've done
right.
a lot. And because of what you've done, because of what you signed up for, this is where you are right now.
But there's another thing. Dre knows that these calls are recorded. I mean, so there's another thing. There's another reason I'm a side eyeing just a little bit. I love big call, but just a little bit to say that, and you know that they're recorded, and for this to get back to her,
Well,
I
someone
think it's
needs to
sad.
look, someone has to be the truth teller out here. So I'm not side eyeing that at all, actually. I'm just like, you know what? Someone got to come up and tell the truth.
Yeah, I
So
guess you're right.
Dre
Somebody
says
got to
he's
hit you in
Team
the face with it.
Shirley,
Yeah.
and maybe that was what Team Shirley needed to do, because you know what? He's not for you, and you need to know the truth.
Move on. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And you got
This is
his
it.
authentic reaction to me saying it. I said it to him. He didn't call
Wow.
me a liar, and now
Yeah,
you've
which was
heard it.
nothing.
He never loved you, sis. Move on,
Move on. Yeah.
and that's it. Wow. Great
Yeah. Wow.
comments, Glorious. Thank you
Okay.
so
All right.
much. That was
Talk to you later.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, take care. Uh Shayna, Talia, you're next, and then Sharonda, okay?
Hi.
Shanae, Shayna, what's going on? How are
Hi,
you?
hi. I was on a call a couple weeks ago, and I repeated the term. And after seeing the video calls of Sonia, I'm going to stand on that. She's an STD. You said it.
Ooh,
She's silly. She's thirsty and dumb, and it's just so
wow.
solidified on there. And I think we should need to call her that from this point forward. She's just an
STD.
STD,
Miss STD.
and she's an STD that unfortunately Nestle will never be able to get rid of because this is my belief. I'm looking a little bit like I told you before. I'm looking at this with my third eye. She
Okay.
is a stalker to the third degree.
Mm,
I think if he had never went to jail, he would not even be dealing with her. Period. Because I
not
think
like
what she
this. Not
not
like
at
this.
all.
He would no,
She was a
he'd have
one
met
time hit it and quit it, and
no, but she wasn't a one-time hit it and quit it. They were hanging out a little bit. They
they were
weren't
hanging
deep
out
in
a
a
little
relation.
bit when she was in town. He wasn't, wasn't like he was making extra trips to go see her or
I
anything. There
think
wasn't
he
a
said he
relationship.
didn't he say he pulled that RV deck back behind her building or something? They were
That's when
doing a
she was.
little something something, but I don't think it would have been serious. Put it that
No,
way.
it wasn't
That's
so serious. Because the one reason why I say this is because if they were having continuous conversation like she leads us to believe, right? She would
mhm.
know him a little bit more than she knows him now.
Girl, they don't
All
know
this
each
stuff
other at all.
she doesn't know him at all. She's fishing for information. So what I think, and then on top of that, he was busy in the streets, so he wasn't talking to one person in particular, anyways. He was moving and shaking, you know.
He had Melody, he had the real
Yeah,
estate agent, he had little
girl, he had
girl.
girls upon girls all over the
Mhm.
world, right? So she was just one of them. But also too, for the way she went about trying to find out where he was at. Remember, she said she stalked Shirley's page. She was really looking for him. So the thing is, and then on top of that, when the conversation that she does have with him, it's all about her stalking, like her finding the guy that he went to prison with. And I don't know why she would fix her lips to think that he would be a character witness when Nesto didn't even know who the guy was.
He had to be reminded who he
He
was.
reminded who he was. And why would he even use somebody who hasn't seen in 20 years as a character witness, not even knowing what the guy is involved
Because
with?
she thinks that being on not and I'm not dissing Tubi, but she thinks that because he's a director, he's got movies on Tubi, like he's a
He has
professional,
he
he
has
has a
means to
career,
get her somewhere. That's what it is.
and well, I think that she thinks that that's important,
Right.
that some of his qualifications and what he's currently doing makes him, like, notable.
But I looked the guy up myself, and
I'm
it's just a
talking Sonya, not you,
I
not
know the
you,
guy
'cause
is not even who she thinks he is. He's just that,
look,
and
like I
that's the
said,
problem about it.
Sonya came to this internet and she stumbled into the Black professional women's circuit, and it has blown her mind, and she thinks we're all a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just cut to the chase on it.
Mhm.
These Black professional women who like to listen to podcasts and true crime, she can't stand us.
No, she can't.
She can't
But
stand us.
she's those women that you see. Unfortunately, we all have one family member like a Shirley. I mean, not Shirley, but like a Sonia. We have that auntie cousin who's been on welfare, kids grown. She don't know what to do with herself because all she's ever lived off of is any type of side hustle, a drug dealing boyfriend, doing all different types of things. So
Everybody
when she
knows
gets
like a Pookie.
everybody knows like a Pookie, Sheree Ray. We know all of that. Shay Shay LaFunk from down the street. We know that person, you know? And so that's who she is. But she has these big dreams of wanting to do something. So no matter what the bloggers or myself right now saying about her, she believes it doesn't matter what publicity it is. Good, any type of publicity is good publicity for her. But like I said, she also has that philosophy that I said a couple weeks ago. She subscribes to the last woman down gets the crown
Mm.
type situation. So she believes as long as she is in his corner 100%, good, bad, indifferent, lies or not, she's going to go somewhere. But like I said before, Ernesto's he's got a taste of the good life. You know, I know he got a taste of good life because when she said, "Have you been to Benihana's?" He said, "I haven't been to Benihana's in 9 years." That's exactly the amount of time he's been with Shirley. He's never
because
he's
yeah,
not going to no
Shirley's
chain restaurant.
yeah, they're going to Nobu's. They're going to
Exactly.
Nobu. They're going to nicer places.
They're taking the
And there's nothing wrong with Benihana because Benihana is like elevated Japanese steakhouse, but
right.
there's better than that.
They're getting on the
So
jet, going to the next city to see what else is out there to eat, going to New
yeah,
York and back. They're not doing these type of things. His taste that he has fallen so far from grace. I can bet if there's not another older woman that he has in his pocket who's going to be meeting him at the prison gate, he'll be groveling and begging and doing whatever he could to get back with Shirley and act like this woman never ever existed.
yeah, and I mean, he's talking about she was downplaying the teacher, but the teacher had credit cards. The teacher had a house. The teacher had a car. The teacher was taking care of her own son. Yes, the teacher was also selling Mary Kay. The teacher had a side hustle.
Not only just the
The
teacher, but
real estate
all the
agent.
women that he deals with accomplished, educated women.
Yeah,
All of them are
absolutely.
very much
Very
book smart. They're not street smart, but they are book smart, you know?
right.
And that's what his lane has been. He is a professional gigolo who's aging out of his good looks.
Girl. And she, like, when she got to this sector, I think that she felt very intimidated. And I think when she met Tasha K, she probably was very intimidated because, Tasha is about that business
Hmm.
and she wanted, they've paid for you to come provide some information and you didn't bring it. So that's why
No,
the
but she
following night,
she thought
Tasha
she was
K
going to
was
get some
already, go ahead.
information from Tasha K. She thought she was going to peep the scene and figure out a complex and basically copy what Tasha K is doing, as if it was that easy.
If she was smart, she would have got something. If she was smart, she would have gotten something. Like at the end of the day, there's people who talk about having an interaction with a Warren Buffett or an Oprah or something, and it just that 5 minutes, someone sold them a cup of coffee in an airport and it changed their life. Like it doesn't take a lot, right?
Yeah, but you have to humble
Sonya
yourself
is
to gain that
Sonya
information.
is lazy. She's
Hmm.
lazy. She's very, very much lazy. She doesn't want to. This is work.
Yeah, and
When
then
she met Tasha K, that's work.
her lying to Ernesto because I believe he possibly might have gotten out if it wasn't for her intermingling with those attorneys trying to figure things out. Because as an attorney, if I had somebody who was a headache, I'm answering that call for 2 seconds, and then I'm telling my secretary, could you we'll deal with that, I don't know, put that on the calendar for next week. You know what I mean? I'm not going
Right.
to jump to it for this crazy woman.
Especially
And
when you're getting on my nerves.
exactly, exactly. And then her saying that the one attorney, we're going to sue him to get the money back. Whose money back? Shirley's money back? That money's not going to Ernesto?
Right. The money on the balance sheet is going to go to wherever the money was dispersed from.
Right.
So that is going to go right back to her credit card or wherever the money came from is what they'll end up reimbursing it
Yeah.
to. You can't sue for him. You're not
No.
his wife. You're not a family member. You can't sue for him. And if he sues, because Shirley was the payee, I'm sure that they're going to make sure that those funds are diverted right because last
They're
thing
going back
a
the same
lawyer
way
in
they
a
came.
lawsuit,
Mhm.
right, exactly. The last thing a lawyer that's involved in a lawsuit wants to have happen is a lawsuit about a lawsuit.
Right.
So whoever is doing his books and accounting, that money is going to be dispersed right back to where it came from because it'll come out in court who paid those fees
Hmm.
and Shirley will be notified. She'll be called as a witness, all of those
Exactly.
things. So at the end of the day, Sonya doesn't have critical thinking skills. She's not even thinking of cause and effect. She's not thinking future. She's not thinking anything. She's not a thinking woman because if she
Mm-mm.
were a thinking woman, she would have thought and anticipated a lot of these things that have happened. And you can tell that she is limited intelligence. She's gotten by in her circle of low potential people because she's got a voice that makes her sound like she's knowledgeable, but she's not.
Yeah.
She's not because
Yeah.
she makes real slow type moves. And for most people who are, and I hate to make it sound like a kind of like she's so dumb, but that's just what it is
She
boiling
is
down
so
to
dumb.
be.
She is so dumb.
It's
She's just,
that's what it's turning
like
out to
I
be because
said, she's
she has no critical thinking.
she's silly, thirsty, and dumb. And the
Silly,
thing is,
thirsty, and dumb.
she's just like these women on these love after lockup or love during lockup shows. They actually, the reason why all those relationships disintegrate as soon as a prisoner gets out, because they like the fairy tale. And if you've seen some of them, they get right back in another relationship with another person who's like that. I'll bet my bottom dollar her last relationship was like this. She likes this. She's in control of everything as long as a person is behind bars.
Right.
She can.
She really doesn't, let the truth be told, she really doesn't want a relationship at all because if she did, she wouldn't be with someone who's unavailable.
She exactly. She likes where he's at. And that's
She
why
likes
she's
someone
not
who's not available.
executing. Yeah, that's why she's not completing any of the tasks that he gives her. That's why she's not executing her properly. That's why she's arguing with the attorneys. She's messing things up on purpose because as long
Right.
as she can keep him where he's at, she has some control.
Right.
She also gets some attention from him as well in her tween outfits.
Right. Also, he's married, so no one else is going to want him because most people with some sense wouldn't want to deal with a married guy. So she likes a married guy who cheats because you have a reason to kind of hold it over his head while you hold back. Because
Hmm.
number one, you don't want to be in a relationship, but number two, you're holding back because you can accuse them of not being trustworthy, even though you want them to be trustworthy, but you're dealing with someone who is betraying trust of another woman,
Right. And
right?
she doesn't want
Eh,
to be in a relationship because she has no substance to offer any man.
yeah,
None.
she's through.
Hmm.
Wow. I mean, it's Sonya, did you hear all that?
I know. And the thing is, and
Sucks
Dre,
for her.
your last caller said something about Dre. Now, she was saying that basically she was side eyeing Dre. I don't side eye Dre. Dre is doing what a friend is supposed to do. If my friend was cheating and I wanted to tell her husband, I would get into an argument with her in front of her husband and let it slip out.
And
That's the
that's what he
equivalent of
did.
what he
Yeah,
did.
that's what he did. So yeah,
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing
Hmm.
because it's gonna get back to Shirley.
Right. Because at the
Shirley
end of
can
the
have her
day, his.
closure.
Mhm.
If
Exactly, and
Shirley
his loyalty is to Ernesto, basically, and he didn't leave his loyalty from him. He let him know basically, I'm still your friend, but I'm still put my foot in your on your neck because you
yeah,
are tripping here,
yeah.
you know.
Right.
But
I'm not going to allow you to continue this. Like, Shirley is a nice woman. She doesn't deserve this from you. If you don't want her, let her go.
right,
I said this the other day. Like, Nesto created a situation where he is going to make Shirley the bad guy because it's making sure, like, it's making it seem like Shirley didn't want to give him like an answer. He was trying to make her the bad guy, but really he's the bad guy. She's not the bad guy in this because she wasn't wanting to give him an answer.
well,
He's the bad guy.
he's a gigolo. So when you deal with the man who always uses women, because like right now he's in jail and he's using a woman, using Sonia. He does not know how to function in life without having a woman on his side. Right? That's just how it
Mhm.
is. He
Yeah.
can't, he doesn't know what his left or the right hands are doing. He can't read anything. He suddenly becomes this infantile type man, right? And has
Mhm.
to rely on these women and everything they have. So with Shirley, when he's losing control, because Shirley is now the further away she's away from him, the less that she talks to him, she's coming out of this spell that she has. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, Sonya had mentioned she was dickmatized. I don't know what this man does in bed with these women, but he does definitely dickmatize them for
Right.
sure. And the fact is, because he actually in the call he had with Shirley, he tried to say, I'll spank you. And it was very much in a sexual way, the way he said it.
That's the
Right?
way I took it. Some
Hmm.
people took it as like a DV. They look, you could take it two ways, but I think I found it to be quite I thought it was a sexual
Of
comment
course,
to me
according to
too.
when you look at
Um
what they found in his truck, mask, the zipper on
well,
it, all those type of things,
and
you know the man's into some S&M stuff, you know?
she did kind of giggle-ish a little bit, but
But
it could have been like a "Ugh," it could have been a you wish, or it, but he said it that way for a reason to drop that like,
to
to
remind
remind
her,
her, don't forget about
right, to put the
this.
spell back on her. Like
Don't
you
forget about
missing
the
this,
the long barrel. Yeah,
right,
don't forget about that. He did
right,
that on purpose.
mm,
Absolutely.
right.
He's a good manipulator for the people who are up under his spell, but yeah, the spell I do think has been broken. She just
Yeah.
needs to continue to stay on track
If it hasn't been
and
broken,
yeah.
watching these videos and seeing him
Oh my god.
transform into this skid row looking person should be enough for her to be like, I can't believe I opened anything, my pocketbook, my home, my
Left,
legs,
right.
my mouth to this man. Just,
Girl, a mess, a mess.
mhm. So that's
So
all I had to say.
thank you, Shayna. We love you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Great
you.
call. I appreciate it. Okay, take
Bye.
care. All right, bye-bye. Where's Talia? Sharonda, you're next, sis. Okay. Um, Talia, what's going on? Or is it Talia? Talia. Maybe it's Talia. Can you hear me, sis? I think
Oh,
you're on
sorry. I
mute.
was like on mute. Yeah, no, it's
Hey,
Talia.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Woo.
Man,
Thank you. You held on.
yeah.
You held in there.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Like,
got
it's
me through
been good
work.
call after good call today. Every
Hmm.
call has been amazing. So tell us what you're thinking. What okay, let me ask you a question real quick. The
Hmm.
videos, go.
Oh my God. Okay, so when phone calls from prison first came out and she had like a community post and said, there's video calls, like just wait. I was like on the ready. I'm like, my notifications are on. I'm ready for it. And now that they've come out, it's so interesting to be able to put like the body language to things because when you listen to like Ernesto over the phone, at least for me, you don't see the how much he's cheesing behind the phone. Like it makes me wonder, does he cheese like that when he's not on camera, or is that just a fake? Because when he's in front of her and she's just talking and talking and talking away, if that were me, it would be eye roll on eye roll. Like it would be like, what are you talking about? For me, actually seeing him, the way he like responds to her, it's like, at least in the beginning of the phone calls when she was first coming, it was like he was like he liked it, like he appreciated all that she had to say, which was weird because it's like, this is crap, right? Um, so it was interesting to like almost put face to it. Um, and my thing too is I'm interested to see how Sonya is going to respond to the fact that, okay, you cannot deny anything for real now. Like this is your face, this is you coming. You've went to the jail over 50 times and y'all are talking about stuff in person because you thought like you weren't going to get caught in 4K. Like what did you think? It's global
It's
telling.
it's
You're
pretty
recorded.
ooh, girl, they just put up Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist. Like, if
Yeah.
Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist ain't safe, ain't nobody safe out here.
Nobody. It
Like,
ain't safe.
sir
It
is
ain't
in one of the
safe.
biggest trials in the period right now. Everyone's
Hmm.
watching it. It's on Law and Crime. Everyone's watching all the things. And I guess they got their videos too. I'm sure that's going to be huge. I did
Yeah.
watch it. I didn't even think to do like reaction about it other than I just want to kind of get a chance to learn a little bit more of their body language and their
Hmm.
conversations because I don't really know a lot about what's going on. I'm sure, Sylvia probably might do something on that because she's a court watcher over there. So she's been very into the trial, everything. So I'm just kind of I watched it today just from a standpoint of just kind of knowing a little bit about what's going on in the
Hmm.
case, but it might get me more interested, just like listening to the first couple calls from the Adelsons got me interested.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, look at your screen right now. Can you see Sonya?
It's awful.
But this is
It's
what
just
she's giving
awful.
over there at the jail. Like when
This
she's
is.
sitting over there giving us the filter, but then we see
Mm,
the real, which is give me 1 second.
mhm.
When she's giving us drunk auntie, like this is not this is the real. This is no
Yeah,
filter. I mean, the obviously it's not great, but I mean, I can dip over to it. It won't take anything for me to just dip to phone calls from prison real quick
right.
and not have a because that was a screenshot. So, in all fairness, I'll just go and we'll just do a random freeze of a screen.
I don't know if it's gonna make
And
it
it's
better,
gonna
but
be it's it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a mess. Look at this right here.
oh
Boom. Like, sis, come on.
yeah,
And
yeah,
no one's
it
trying to be
yeah.
unfair about this. It's not giving what the filters are giving. Like,
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that Sonya is ugly, but it's just the
but
personality for me. It's like it doesn't even matter. Your personality is just trash garbage. Like it's not even like you could say like, "Oh, well, you have a nice soul." Like you're sitting here telling this man who has egregious charges against women that like, oh, this is civil, and like you want to keep saying civil as a blanket to cover up that, okay, but so it's not that you're debating whether he did it or not, you're debating how it's getting categorized. That's like
exactly.
really frustrating to me
Exactly.
because he did it. So does it matter what category it goes under? Really, truly? Like you're not mad that he did it. You're mad that other people are making it as bad as it is. Like, huh?
She wants to make it less serious. And I just want
Yeah,
to say this and go on the record. It's not about her being ugly. Like
right.
let's leave that behind. Ain't nobody calling there's someone in this audience maybe calling her ugly. I'm not, you're not. It's not about that. It's about someone who is very hyper focused on her age and her
Mm-hmm.
looks, and she talks about it a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
because she is hyper focused on her looks, she automatically goes in thinking that everyone's coming for her about her looks because that's probably been a sticking point her life. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. It doesn't make a difference to me because I don't care about that. But she's not going to make that an issue. Like
But
me saying, "Ma'am, you're heavily filtered." I don't like, come on now. Look at the screen.
but I mean that is a fact. That's not necessarily. I mean I think it kind of goes without saying. You use filters. It just is what it is. But my take on her hyper focusing on her looks, at least in this situation, because this is all we can like go off of definitively. I feel like the reason that she kind of goes in so much about like, yeah, they were surprised that I wasn't ugly and blah 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 is because you're the side chick. Like that's why. Like you're making it
She
like,
thinks she's
oh
getting
well, he
picked
was.
on because she's so cute. It's like, sis, no,
I
not
feel
really.
like I feel like it's not even just that. It's like we all know Ernesto was with Shirley Strawberry, who is much older than you, and Shirley Strawberry looks good now,
Shirley
and she
looks
makes
good
money,
and
right?
she's very accomplished.
Yeah,
She said to Tasha K, would this be an issue if I looked like if I was fat and ugly? She said that.
but and that's
Would
why
this be an
I think
issue
it
if I was fat and ugly?
confirms,
She thinks she's getting picked on because she's cute.
and I think it
And
confirms
I'm here
that
to
your
say, sis, you
side.
ain't that cute. You're not ugly, but you don't. I mean, look, it's just like there's more beautiful women out here. Like you are
Hmm.
a just look. I don't want to
You're
say it
lit.
because it sounds like I'm taking her down. It's look, it makes the assumption that everybody else is ugly. Like everyone else can't be ugly just because you're pretty.
But people, in the age we're in today, I don't really think people care if
Nobody cares
you're
anymore.
ugly. Nobody, like, are you making money though? Are you a good person? Are
Right.
you able to sustain your life? And I feel like because she can't check those boxes the way that Shirley can, and the fact that Ernesto at least publicly is shifting gears towards her, it's like, well, let me make myself something because you had Shirley Strawberry, so now I have to be something or I'm just going to be even worse. Like, oh, well, you left Shirley Strawberry for who was the question, and you didn't have any box to check. Like, how are you like, generally speaking, how are you sustaining yourself? How
You
are
know
you a good
what?
person?
I think she's also one of these women. I don't know what men she has dated in her past. We have no idea. But I think she thinks that Nesto does, he takes good pictures for the most part. I mean, I'm not into his look specifically. But there's been some pictures where, he looks like a nice looking guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she may be one of these chicks who's never really had a good looking guy, or she feels in competition with a good looking man because she
Mm-hmm.
always has to be the prettiest. So I don't really know what the psychology is behind it, but he seems to be the type of man who will dress you, who will pick out your clothes. Even
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Williams, I watch her and her man, Chris, and he picks out her clothes. Oh, Jennifer, you should wear the other earrings. No, 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 no. Go in your closet, get that dress I got you last week. Sir buys her clothes. He helps now
Mm.
she might have a stylist, so no one needs to message me. Jennifer has a stylist. Okay, well, I've seen vlogs where he has picked out her outfit for the day. Whether that's a part of the script or not, I don't know. I don't care. He has talked on numerous occasions about picking out this woman's clothes. Okay. Nesto talks about her hairstyles, how she should wear it, wear
Mm-hmm.
that nude lip, don't go dramatic, make sure you smile. He is a Svengali in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These two are very superficial. They don't have a whole lot going for them. Look, like, and ma'am is dealing with aging, and aging will fuck your head up. Like when you get to be a certain age, you have to kind of just accept the fact that you're growing old. You're growing
Yeah.
old, you're getting older, and it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
and it's nothing
And it
wrong
can
with it.
mess you
It's
up
a
a
good
little
thing.
bit if you don't want to accept it. You have to do your best with it. And for her to be stuck in a time warp of trying to hold on to every little bit of her youth is going to be very disappointing because we all get old if you're lucky. Some
Yeah.
people don't get the grace to go get old. They will die way before their time and they get to
Yeah.
stay frozen, right? We
If you
get to
didn't get old, you
remember
died
them how they
young.
were when they left, right? The rest of us, we going to change.
Yeah.
We going to change. And that's just life. And
Yeah.
that's not a diss. That's just life.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I think she clings to a lot of things that are kind of like outdated and just not even outdated, just flat out, just kind of wrong. Um, I don't know, even the way that she operates kind of extremely masculine. Like you are sitting here talking about how basically you want to be some kind of provider. Like when you get out, I'm gonna have somewhere for you to stay. I'm gonna have somewhere for you to live. I'm gonna have this and that, and I'm trying to get this.
Tell him to go
Like,
get a mortgage. I'll pay the note. Like,
yeah, like
why don't you
I'm
pump your
sorry.
brakes?
I am a lady. I don't want to do that for a man. That's just the kind of relationship I want to have. I don't want to be doing that for a man. Like you need to be able to sustain your own life. I can sustain my own life. We come together and you know what I'm saying? Like, but this kind of like way that she wants him to be, like she almost like wants to infantilize him. Like, why do you want him to not be able to be an adult?
She
Like,
she is a pick me. No, I don't think it's that she doesn't want him to be an adult. She is she's of a certain mindset. She is a pick me. She is like legit. We hear the term pick me. If pick me was a woman, she is a pick me. She's ready to pay. She's ready to promote, and she wants to handle him. And
yeah.
he doesn't mind a woman handling him. He doesn't seem to mind. When it's time to pipe up, he will, but she doesn't mind paying and she doesn't mind, promoting. She doesn't mind professing, telling him, I want you to be my man. He hasn't even said, you're going to be my lady. We're going to do this damn thing when I
Mm-mm,
get out of here. She's
mm-mm.
telling him, I want you to be my man. But the caveat is, and what she knows all too well is, this man may be married to one, two, three women. This man could be a bigamist. This
Mishandling
man,
other
at
women.
minimum, could be married to one, could be married to three, could be all kinds of things. He could be a sexual assaulter. He could be
Mm-hmm,
he could be someone who is the R wordist. He could
mm-hmm.
be all kinds of things.
Someone who
He's
has to file paperwork every time he moves and register on lists
right.
and You get alerts about someone moving into your neighborhood, like, and that's what I don't get. Like, how, like I said, it's frustrating sometimes watching it because it's like, you know, I know age doesn't beget wisdom, but you just think that the older you get, the more you would know. And it's just like, so 30 years ago, like, how far back were you? Because if this is where you've gotten at 50, whatever, you were like, you had to have been like a hot mess at
I
25,
mean, she got
30.
shot at
But
19.
you got
And then
shot.
she
So,
had two kids, two baby daddies.
I guess that speaks for, I
And
guess you were a hot mess.
yeah, and I mean, look, in 2024, two baby daddies, that can you can be in two serious relationships. You may even have three baby daddies. So I don't want to knock it. But at the end of the day, this woman had two kids pretty quick. She had her daughter, she has her son. Everyone seems to need a leg up. Her daughter is working in the bars. She's in her 30s. She's got a 17-year-old granddaughter who's she says is problematic. Sonia is 55, walking dogs, babysitting, working in dispensaries, and
Yeah.
lying about having businesses, or telling us all kinds of stories about apprenticing here, there, and everywhere. It's a mess. I think
Yeah.
she's
And
also
it's a lot.
grappling with not being a fulfillment of what she would have thought for her saw for herself, and then
Hmm.
also now being in a circle of women who are more accomplished than her, and
Hmm.
not feeling a way because she feels a way, rather than using it as motivation.
Hmm.
She's very much intimidated, so she's created this whole character type in this Nesto Sonya story, because we've now become part of the story because it's the bloggers. It's the
Yeah.
bloggers. The bloggers are coming for you, Nesto.
Yeah. It's like a reason for her to, like,
It's a
they hate me.
reason.
They this, they that. Like,
Yes.
we're giving her a reason. I just, it's like I said, I'm in my 20s, and watching someone who is, in their mid, you can round up to 60, that's not isn't and it's nothing wrong with that. But that's to say, like, I would think that you would be at a different place. And when I imagine where I want to be in 10, 5, 10, 20 years, I don't think I would be at someone's county jail, on the phone, and, like, talking to somebody that is married. You're making such a big effort to talk to someone who's married. Not only
It's
that, who has,
embarrassing.
yeah, like, even if he doesn't get, convicted and go to jail, for sure for certain crimes, like, that's still on his record that he did that. That's the kind of, you want to file paperwork with this person. That's what you want. Like, you want your name associated with that. Like, you're okay with that, civilly or not.
She's a fool. Look, like I said, she's low potential. She's one of these low potential chicks.
And
She's not
then the
she's
one
not
that I did.
she's not thinking of her reputation, because ma'am doesn't know what it's like to have a good one. She has sat around.
Mm,
She had what, the insurance fraud. I don't know if that was a felony. I saw someone drop a comment saying, "How can a felon house a felon?" I don't know. So I don't know if her insurance fraud was a felony, but I guess she was in prison. And look, I mean, Sonya's doing it to herself. Like I said, she could have came on this internet and had a whole different attitude and be getting
mhm,
a whole different read right now.
mhm.
She came on here trying to be a badass, and this is what it got her. Like, you can't come out like people, it's
You
not
can't outdo
just
the
her,
internet.
it's anybody. You
Yeah.
cannot come, we've all seen it. You cannot, I don't care if you're white, Hispanic, Asian, African, South, like, you come on this internet with a certain type of swag and you don't check yourself to a certain degree, you can
Hmm.
own it, you can be badass, you can do all the things, but you got to respect that there's numbers out here of more and more people than you will ever know.
Hmm.
And people will
Yeah.
check you, and they will check you, and they will check you.
And people aren't gonna want to
And
gravitate towards you. They're not.
you got to respect, this internet is massive. And she came out here thinking she was going to do what she does in her circle. That shit don't work. You're
Yeah.
not in your circle, sis.
Yeah, you can't play. You cannot outdo the internet. You can't play the
No,
internet. You can't do it. It's I
no,
think
it's
it's fascinating to
impossible.
see her try to do it to Nesto, and it's I don't it's almost kind of narcissistic how she like plays Nesto because he's not connected. Like someone had said before, he doesn't have access to internet for real. He's on global telling. He doesn't know what's really going on. He's going off of word of mouth of Sonya, and she's exaggerating and downplaying things to her own agenda. So to watch her try to
She said
come
she
and
had
do it to
800 people in
us,
her live. I was like, bitch, no,
yeah,
you did not. Stop lying.
and
Stop lying. I
even
got 800 people in my life. I got more than 800. I got 800.
come
You
on,
don't have
friend,
no damn 800 people in your live, sis.
you barely
When
had
she
800
said that, I was
subscribers.
done. Yeah, girl, stop it.
You was talking about you were 200 subscribers away from potential monetization. There's no way, like, you don't have anything that people are going to come and say, oh yeah, like people already didn't want to come to the channel because you are an alleged, and
You
I mean, we know you're a side chick. People don't want to support that. Like, people know how YouTube work. They know if they subscribe and watch that, they're giving you a leg up. They're not stupid. Like, what do you think?
She's a mess. She is a liar. She's a liar.
Yeah, and
Uh,
she, what was it? It was something else she said. I'll have to probably like drop it in the chat. It was something, I think it was when she was talking about how she was going on Tasha K or something, and she was like, I told you the last time I came. And I'm like, we just watched phone calls from prison put in
when
order. You didn't say that.
she told him, okay. So she basically roundabout came and told him that she was putting up videos and she was going
Yeah.
to beat phone calls from prison. Basically, what we talked about yesterday, that she basically was going to try to basically put out the calls ahead of phone calls from prison. And
Hmm.
she already know, like, look, at the end of the day, they're playing with pins. Like, we've talked about this. Like, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, nobody can tell me that they're not playing around because the sequence is just off. And I am a very data driven person. And when I look at the logs, I just know it. And
Hmm.
one day it'll come out, and you guys will say, Fran's been saying this all along. She's been saying it all along. They're playing with the pins.
I can
So
definitely believe it.
she knows that they're fucking around. They got people calling on three-way. Sheik's calling people on. If she's calling Lamont and Dion on three-way, you don't think they're calling on three-way? You don't
Yeah.
think that when they're calling a friend, when Lamont said, who do you need me to call? Who do you want
Hmm.
me to call? And we listened to that call. You guys haven't heard that call when Lamont called like three, four, five, six people. You guys heard part of that call, but the uncut call, he called like three, four, five people that day. Okay.
Oh wow.
This guy
Yeah.
was talking to his girlfriend. We hadn't got there yet. We're gonna get there soon. Um, at the end of the day, it wasn't relevant to a phone calls from prison call because it would be like, who's on the phone? Who's these people? Because y'all would
Yeah.
want to know who everybody is, and we don't even know who those people are. But anyway, the main point is that she knows they're playing around. Sonya is playing with this internet, and people don't like to be played in their face.
And she's low key a op. Like,
She's
you
an
are
op
on
too.
Global
Yes.
Tel Link talking about. So he's saying he's speaking in code. Like someone said, you're speaking in code. Them people, the girl, the what he's been calling somebody Pinocchio. And instead of like going with code and just shutting up, here you go. Oh, the stepdaughter. Like, are
Yeah,
you
you know who
serious?
he's
You're an
talking
op.
about, but then you want to say
Not to
Sheridan.
support, not to say
Yeah.
like, oh, she should, not that, but I mean, if you're gonna stick beside him, like, what side are you?
Yeah,
I
sir,
feel
you're
like, what side are you
done.
on?
Panay probably has. Panay already knows. Girl, you know I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like. But girl, Shirley just got her big raise. Girl, everyone's coming back. Sheridan
Yeah,
coming back. Panay coming back. Girl, everyone coming back. Okay.
yeah, and
So,
it's
and ain't nobody
unfortunate.
worried about that. Yeah. And I'm not
It's
saying that
unfortunate.
I'm not saying that from a standpoint that people are going to be using Shirley, but
Hmm.
from a standpoint of Shirley might need some protection, and we're gonna be
Yeah,
there for her, and we're gonna help her watch her coins. Okay.
yeah. Sonya is
Okay.
crazy. I would, maybe before Shirley did not have to. walk around with a bodyguard. I mean, she spoke about just doing regular people things, even despite sitting next to a Steve Harvey, right? But she may need protection after this. Like, this is not Sonya. Like, Sonya's kind of crazy, and Sonya has set up a platform where other crazy people can like come and for those who aren't like,
Like
okay,
what?
this is wrong. The people that
Mhm.
agree
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sonya, who's to say that they're not like, trying to do crazy stuff like Sonya does? And watch
Well, when
Shirley.
Sonya said very smugly, "You want me to smack her? You want me to
Yeah,
smack her?"
like
We
what?
heard you say that. We heard her. We heard her say that. But Talia, let me go ahead and get Sharonda and Vicky up here. I mean, great comments, absolutely, and we appreciate you. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we
No,
go?
no,
You
that was
good?
it. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Well, we love you and have a good rest of the week. Tomorrow's call-in day too. So if you want think of anything, call back tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. If not, I'll be in the chat. Thanks so much, friend.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sharonda.
Hey, Francois, how are
I'm
you?
doing fine. Vicky, you're next and last. Okay, boo boo. So just hold on. How are you doing?
I am good. I am so glad you took my call. I have so much to
Absolutely. Thank you
say.
for waiting. Yes.
No problem. First, let me start by saying Sonia and all of her foolishness.
Oh
I
my
say
God.
that to say that I am a paralegal
Okay.
and I work for a Metro Atlanta DA's office, not Fulton County, but
Okay.
I do. So when she gets on there and talks about it's civil, I want to pull the hair out of my head. I'm like, chick, you have no idea what you're talking about. And the way she's stringing him along, and unfortunately,
Got Tasha though. I got
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nesto has no idea because she's isolating him from everyone he knows. Oh, he's not a friend. She starts picking people off so that it's only her. And since he has no access to the outside world, he doesn't even realize that she's digging a larger hole for him. She's not helping him at all.
He
She's
thinks
causing
she's a
more
boss.
problems for him.
He thinks she's a boss chick.
She's not.
Well, we
Not at
know that.
all.
We know that,
Right.
but I'm just saying he
He does
thinks
it. Right. And it's
he thinks
so
she is.
unfortunate.
It's sad because that
Yes.
also it's unfortunate for Shirley because it's like Shirley, really? Because this guy's
Right.
a certified bum.
Right.
Um, that she had such a bummish ass man who
Right.
thinks that, but because Sonya likes to talk the talk, which
Mm-hmm.
anyone with some substance knows that Sonya doesn't really know what she's talking about. She might know a
Exactly.
few things. Like I
Yeah.
said, she may be someone who kind of learned through osmosis. She was in the
Mm-hmm.
midst. She's heard people talking. Maybe
Right.
she's worked on a couple of deals for her lawyers, or she's
Right.
been around some people who've done certain types of business. So she's
Right.
kind of repeating. But the reason why she's so frustrated by this internet is because she's getting fact checked left to the right because she
Yes.
sounds so dumb. It's like, sis, how can you can't say that because you're talking to someone who's actually got a certification in that. Or you can't say that
Right.
because you've got someone who's actually got a license to practice. You can't say that because this person has 25 years of experience in this, that, and the third. Or
And
like there's all kinds of people in this age group who not only have but we have extended experience because we have
right.
all been working for 20, 30, some people even
Right.
40 years, right?
Matter
So
of fact,
she mhm.
we're the same age. So
Y-
even that drives me crazy. I'm like, how are we both 55?
well, she spent time in the
Please.
penitentiary.
I
Like
yeah.
factor that
Right.
in. Factor that. Like, okay, when so you and her 55, 19,
Yes.
3 gunshots, half a colon,
Right.
prison,
Right.
trying to defraud insurance companies. So right
Yeah.
there, 2
Right.
babies, okay?
Right.
Probably all before she was 25 years old. Maybe by
And,
the time you were 25, I don't know,
oh no,
you
I wasn't
graduated
even
from college.
married yet.
You
Right.
grad
I didn't get married till 26 and still with the same
okay.
man. So like
Okay.
we just celebrated 29 years just last week. So
Okay.
it's like
So 30 years. So, but she's had 30 years of shenanigans.
Right.
She just celebrated 30 years of shenanigans,
Right.
and you are celebrating 30 years of marriage.
Right.
Okay. Ma'am, you know what I'm saying? Like some people go university,
Yes.
sorority, starting to
Yes.
watch your you get married, everyone starts having babies, all of those
Exactly.
things. This woman
Exactly.
has been on the loose
Yeah.
for 30 plus years. So this
And
is the result of that.
and
She's
then she
every
hooks up.
Sunday going to him. Yeah,
Right.
go ahead.
And he's nothing but a straight hustler. He has these shell companies. I'm like, how in the world did he finance all these luxury cars and these
Shirley,
businesses?
the remnants of Shirley's credit.
But see, that's the thing. And no one is like, how are you doing all this? Now you have nothing because the notes were coming due. So everything got repossessed, everything got shut down, which tells you you're nothing but a straight hustler. There's no substance to you. And
There was no
she's
business shut down. There was nothing had to be done. Like,
right.
isn't it strange? Like, I don't know if any of you guys have thought about this. He went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley never called an attorney. Like, I don't know this for facts, but this is me projecting,
Mm-hmm.
or assuming. Nobody was called, nobody was contacted, no businesses. Shirley touched nothing. She barely even paid his car payment. Nobody was
Only thing
paid.
they were going back and forth was on the truck. That was
He
it.
never talked to her about handling any business at his
Right.
office,
Right.
paying anybody,
Right.
moving office furniture,
Right.
nothing,
Right.
nothing. So you can't tell me that you thought that this was a legitimate company. Where is everybody? Now, the
Exactly.
barbershops maybe were 1099, but I don't even think the barbershops were operational. And
Right.
Nesto's security, I think those people were independent contractors. They
I
were
think so.
1099s, and the business wasn't even in his name. So the
Right.
person who was the agent of record
Mm-hmm.
to the
Mm-hmm.
business, that person got left with everything. That person probably got left with
Yes.
having to file taxes. That person got left with having to figure out how to justify 6 cars with Nesto security on them. Like all of these, he probably
Yes.
left everybody in who did anything with him, who was stupid enough to do business with him, a mess.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of the fact, when you watch his Instagram and you see the guys carrying these rifles, I'm like, you're a convicted felon. You're not even supposed to be around weapons. What the heck is going on? It's just like,
Well, so he's not supposed to be around other felons. I guess he's not supposed to handle a weapon. He's
no,
not
no, no,
supposed to
no.
handle a
See,
weapon.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even if you say you're married to a convicted felon, your rights
Mhm.
get taken away because you're not allowed to have a gun in your home because he's in the home.
Mm.
So he's walking around with these guys. They have weapons. You're not supposed to be around weapons. What the heck are you
I'm sure
doing?
he's probably not even supposed
That's
to be in the midst of a security company and
exactly.
in
That is
possession
why it was
of
in
those
someone else's
devices.
name. Right. It had to be
So
in someone else's name.
yeah, so he was the registered, so he was not the registered agent, someone else was.
Right.
But yeah, it was just a complete mess. And
Yes.
I just don't understand what Shirley, look, Shirley obviously was okay with everything. I mean,
Yeah.
and maybe she didn't know about his gigolo ways completely, but
Exactly.
she knew he wasn't
Exactly.
coming home.
Right.
And she knew that, but I think Shirley has probably dealt with her share of, thuggish type,
Right.
gentlemen. And
Right.
look
With
at
the
Steve.
shenanigans. Right.
Look at Steve. I mean, Steve
Right.
is someone who the odds weighed very high in his favor
Right.
that he went from modest to
Mm-hmm.
doing well to
Mm-hmm.
wealthy.
Right.
As far as we know, I mean, the assumption is that the man has made a lot of money,
Right.
which
Right.
I think is pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And but he comes from the streets, and we all know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And I we can't say whether or not. Well, it's obviously that Shirley doesn't because she should have seen him coming. There's no way in the world Nesto shows up and you overlook all that foolishness.
Well, he got
Just the English
he
language alone is enough to say, you know what, nice to meet you,
yeah.
and
But you
keep
know,
it
it's
moving.
unfortunate that a lot of and I'm speaking a generalization now too. There is a I'm gonna say it like this because I don't want to overgeneralize. There's a
Hmm.
certain population of people that feel like if you take credit, if you take away from someone because they don't speak as well as they should,
Hmm.
number one, maybe you're being a little too picky and that's why you're single,
Right,
or you're a
right.
little bit too shishi poo poo, you're a little too bougie,
Which she
and
is.
you don't deserve to have a man because you won't take the average black man. So
Right.
they want to make people feel guilty
Or
about
I
having a
think,
standard of he's got to at least speak coherent English.
well,
And they try to make women feel bad, but men, it's okay that you have to have a D cup breast, you have to have a certain
exactly.
size butt,
Right,
your waist thou waist shall be small,
right.
and you will have thick thighs, and you better know how to make macaroni,
Right. But
and those
see,
knees, you know what I'm saying? Like men
I
have
think,
certain standards and they don't get knocked for having it. If a
well,
woman wants a certain standard
yeah.
and you're single, people are going to tell you that's why you're single. That's why you don't have anybody. Your standards are
Well,
too
and I
high.
think she had standards in, I need a man who looks good in a suit.
Well, she got that.
Right. The rest, I can help. Because there's some women who feel I can save you. And he knows how to put on a suit. He looks good in a suit. He can stand there and take some pictures. Because you know how she helps him along with his English, that kind of thing. I can save
And
you.
she laughs at him. She low key giggles at him.
Right.
She thinks
Right.
it's funny.
Which I think that was, the connection. Well, he looks good in the suit. The rest I can work with. I can improve him in other ways. No, you can't because he's a grown man, you know, and stop trying to think you can save him. And I think Sonia's trying to do the same thing in her own way. Let me isolate him from everyone he knows. And then I'm going to make him uh, buy an RV park with me. I don't know where y'all going to get the money for the land for the RV park and then the
for the
RVs.
for the
But
insurance.
I mean, you're doing a GoFundMe and you can't even come up with $200. So the rest,
Mhm.
I mean,
A
really,
mess. A
whew,
mess.
living in a fantasy.
To
But
develop like you said, the land, develop the land, because there's
right,
a lot that goes into that.
exactly.
It's not
Eh,
just pulling in an RV.
right,
People, yeah, they've got swimming pools, bathrooms, camping
right. You got to do the
areas, all
plumbing. You got to
kinds of
find the land. You got to
lot.
buy the land. All of that. But black folks don't know nothing about RVs, according to her. I'm
There's
like,
yeah,
well, I know enough to know you need the land, you need the plumbing, you need the permits. You, there is a lot that's going to, and then
we
you
know
have
enough
to
to know
buy
that
the
you don't know
RV.
enough. Right.
Right. Exactly. But oh no. And then I'm like, okay, well, if he does get out on bond, uh, he's not going to be able to leave the state.
Well, she said that they would have an address. I think that they cleaned that up in the last call real
Right.
quick. That no, we're gonna have an address,
Yeah.
and we're not
But
gonna do any of. She said she cleaned it up to say that's future plans. That's future
but here's the
plans. So
thing.
I was just joking.
But here's the thing, Francois. She's right now living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Can you see Ernesto and all his flash living in a 1-bedroom apartment with her? How long you think that's gonna last?
I don't
Not long at
know.
all, because she offers him nothing. Because why the attorneys are talking to her, that's the other thing. I'm like, why? They are not obligated to talk to her. I would have shut her down so quick. Like, you're not paying, you're not the client. Don't call my phone again. Shut her down.
I think that the as soon as they get to the house, Vicky, hold on, okay? I think that as soon as he gets to the house, he starts to get his itchy
Mm-hmm.
finger of wanting
Mm-hmm.
to go out.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the ankle bracelet, so he will be home.
Mm-hmm.
But when she becomes dissatisfied, he doesn't pick up his phone. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
answer her quick enough. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm telling you, I when I worked in staffing, I used to work for an agency once upon a time,
Mhm.
and I had women call to find out, did so and so come to work?
Oh my
And I'm like,
goodness.
ma'am, I'm not on site with this client. I don't
Right.
know. And you can't call there. Like at the end of the day, like, is there a message that you need for me to convey? I don't know if he's there or not. If there's a problem, I can let you know. I mean, it didn't happen a lot, but it happened
Mhm.
enough that
Mhm.
you may have a girlfriend, wife calling to see did so and so check in to their
Right.
job.
Right.
Because what that would tell me is that homie didn't come home.
Right.
So if they don't know if he's at work, maybe he didn't even come home. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So there's a certain type. So the minute he doesn't come home, he's not answering
Mhm.
his phone, she's gonna lose it.
Yep. And
When
he's not
she
the type that wants to check in. That's
He's not
obvious.
gonna check in.
No.
And when he's not checking in, she's gonna be mad. See, there's a
Mhm.
big difference between coming through, bussing you down, and taking off, or going out to dinner, or having a good time, or being on vacation. That's different. What they're
Right.
going through right now is different. When you
Right.
live with someone, you
That day to
sell
day.
their parts, you wash their clothes, you're
Mhm.
making bills, your AC just went up because now there's 2 and 3 people in the house, and
Right.
when life starts to life, it's
Mhm.
going to be very different, their
Exactly.
interaction, and that's gonna be the interesting component if they can actually live together because
Right.
she's neurotic. If
Mhm.
she's not anything, she's neurotic,
Mhm.
and they both suffer from anxiety. And I
Yes.
don't know if there's substance abuse going on in here. I don't know if he's on anxiety medication. I don't
Mhm.
think he's a substance abuser. He might drink a little bit. This
Mhm.
one, I don't know if she's on pain pills for that stomach of hers. I don't know
Right.
what she's got going on, but there have been times on these calls, just in the last 5, 6 calls that we've seen, that is giving drunk auntie, which she
Oh
says she
yeah,
doesn't
that
drink.
slurred speech. I'm like, what is going
So
on?
I'm like, how is she slurred and he's not?
I
It
know.
can't We can't blame it on the video.
Right.
We can't blame it on the video. It's got to be her.
Right.
So that's a
Right.
problem right there, right? So there's
Mhm.
some sort of chemical, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to call it, there's some sort of there's some sort of medications involved.
Yeah.
There is ADD, there might be some bipolarity, there might be some
Mhm.
narcissism. This is going to be a real problem,
Yep.
but hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for Ernest Williams and Sonya, or Sonya just got arrested on some domestic violence,
Mhm.
something, because she seems like
Right.
the type.
Right.
He's not going to want to deal with that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But
Not at all.
she seems like the type to get angry, want to
Mhm.
tussle. She
Mhm.
she want to get all up in your face. I
At
mean,
97
it's going to
pounds.
be a
Right.
mess. It's
Right.
going to be a mess. It's
Right.
absolutely going to be a mess. What do you think about the GoFundMe?
Oh my God. If that wasn't a hot mess. They had big dreams, 45K, big dreams, didn't get to 200. Um, and I don't know why she thought that was a winning idea. Well, I guess she thinks all her ideas are winning
Well,
ideas and then they just
GoFundMe is a
fizzle.
winning idea. GoFundMe is a winning idea, but she doesn't know
Not
how
for
to work.
him. Right.
She doesn't know how to work social media, and she's not a likable person. She's
Right.
very unlikable. Nobody
And
likes her.
especially when she first started it, she put her picture on there. I'm like, what the heck?
It's like,
Why are
ma'am,
we looking at
seriously?
you for his GoFundMe?
Right. So it was her social media in general was all a
Hmm.
flop. It's all
Yes.
flop.
Yes. She had no idea what she was doing and getting into, but in her mind, she knew exactly what she was getting into. That's why it didn't work.
Right.
I'm like, you're not a media person. This is not your specialty. I don't know what her specialty is. Doesn't seem like she really has any, but that wasn't her specialty. But in her mind, it
Talking.
was.
Her superpower is talking, but she doesn't use it for good. Look at her demeanor. She's so not a lady. Look at this.
I
Can you
know.
see your screen?
Yes. Yes.
She's
Yes.
constantly making faces.
Right.
Um, I
And
don't
she's
under
concerned about the wrong thing at her age. I'm like, you're 55 years old. Why are you like, oh, my hair, it's in my eye, my
wait.
bang. I'm like,
Oh my God, I suddenly got a headache. It's
right,
like I suddenly got a headache, or oh, wait a second. I think I have a hair in my eye.
right,
You got 30 minutes, sis.
Yes.
and you always something's always wrong. The minute you
Right.
pull up that seat, it's like, wait a second, I just gotta wait. There's a hair in my eye.
And she likes to deflect a lot when he calls her to the card on things. Did you do this? Did you do that?
He's just
So
following up.
right,
All
and
he's
she
doing is following
deflects.
up because
Oh,
she won't do it.
exactly.
She
I'm
doesn't get
like,
anything done.
no. And I'm like, when is he going to realize that she is playing him? When is he going to realize he's supposed to be the big OG? You triple OG. Why you haven't realized you've been played? I don't understand.
Because
A pretty
she
face, I
comes
guess.
she comes in there. I think he likes how she dresses
Mm-hmm.
and he feels she gives kind of middle-aged badass,
Right.
and but she has nothing to back it. There's no
No,
substance with
not at
it.
all.
There's
Not at all.
no there's no checking off. There's nothing getting done. It's
Right.
just all talk.
Right.
It's all talk, no action, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think she has told him, he's going to be very
He
disappointed,
is.
And
He
I'm going to
is.
say it again. I don't feel sorry for him because
No.
he's getting this because this is what he's put out. You
Right.
had a real baddie,
Yep.
and you traded in a baddie for not a baddie.
Right.
So this is what you get. Like this
And
is what
then
you wanted.
she is in no position to be giving any legal advice. I'm like, you're a paralegal. You know
But
you
she's
can.
not
I mean,
even a
even
real paralegal.
I know I cannot give out legal advice. When someone asks me, I'm gonna say, yeah, well, this is probably the case. But if I were you, I would talk to an attorney. Not, oh yeah, the law says this and it says that, and it's all civil, civil, civil. I'm like, if this girl don't stop,
Well, but look at it this way. So you're a paralegal and based on your certification, you're not going to do
right,
that 'cause that also messes with
right,
your profession and career. I'm
right,
not an attorney at all, right?
right,
However, we all live under this law, right? We
right,
all live under this thing called the law. So we should have some general knowledge of the law. It doesn't
right,
mean for us to practice law, but if
right,
one day you find yourself in trouble, you are able to represent yourself
right.
and you can use, so there is some reading of the law, understanding. It's
Yes,
my understanding that this, or I read this, and you should check
right,
on that. Like it's all
exactly.
our individual responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
learn what we need to learn about this thing called the law.
Right,
Maybe we're not going to practice it, but we can read that. That's why it's all published, so we can get some general
right.
understanding, and then we can consult with a professional to
That's
explain
right.
it and give us what we need. So no one should feel afraid of trying to read a legal document or learning about the law.
Exactly.
But Sonya is giving it really like a bad name of layperson trying to understand the law
Right,
because she is, and it's embarrassing because nobody wants to come into something where people get paid. Like people say, oh, well, you're not a real doctor. You're not a doctor. What do you know about medicine?
right, right.
Okay, well, I mean, it's my body and I get to
Mm-hmm.
choose what I want to put in it. But at the end of the day, Sonya is very misguided. She's
Yes,
uneducated.
right.
She doesn't even have critical thinking. How can you discuss the law and you don't even know critical thinking? Like
It's
you don't
like,
even have knowledge of forethought. Like
right.
nothing. There's nothing. She's
And it's
just
like,
talking.
read some Georgia statutes. You cannot compare the Florida law to Georgia law. Crack open a book. Look on the internet. Read the Georgia statutes. Because what you're saying, well, because they were dating, that's not what the statute says. It's
Even
like,
though they're dating, you can date someone and still have someone steal from
yes,
you. Like
exactly.
someone could be dating you to have the opportunity.
Yes,
Maybe there was the motive was to steal, the
right,
opportunity was entangling in a relationship with the
right,
person so that you could do what you needed to do. If all of a sudden we're dating and I go to my safe and my diamond necklace is gone, I got to like that's a
right.
theft. How did you know
And
this person? We were dating. Oh, did
exactly.
you know this
Happens all the
person was
time.
like was this person was a cat burglar? No, my God, I had no idea.
Right. Happens all the
That's not
time.
civil. That's not civil.
Right.
If I have
And
a party and my favorite diamond ring is missing and I
right,
call the insurance company and my $10,000 ring is missing, you don't think they're not going to tell me to file a police report? That's a police
exactly.
report. They're going to want to know everyone who was at the dinner party,
Right,
and the police are going to ask questions.
right,
That's not civil. That's a criminal. It
right,
That doesn't mean because you're my friend and I served you some beef Wellington that
right,
makes it civil.
right,
No, someone stole my diamond ring.
right. And which is extremely baffling to me. Why? Well, I know why she's saying it because that's her way of saying I know what I'm talking about and I'm trying to save you. At some point, one of her attorneys is going to have to sit down with him and say, look, stop listening to her. She is not helping you. Y'all are on these phones. First of all, you're on the phone too much. You need to cut that out. Um, she's telling you untruths, straight out lying to you. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's not an attorney. Why are you listening to someone who's not an attorney? All kind of things. I don't know why they haven't shut that down as his attorney who's representing
Right.
him, be it the public defender or the defense attorney. Well, I mean, they're both defense attorneys, but the paid attorney. Someone should be shutting her down and then telling her, do not call my office again. You know, shut her
Right. Unless
down.
it's an emergency or
Right.
something like that, but we need to hear from you less.
Yes. Only person we need to hear from, especially, well, should have been Shirley, but she didn't want to get involved in all of that. Uh, or him. That's the only two. The rest, shut it down. Why? Oh, yeah. You went off on him. Why is an attorney even entertaining her? She didn't even pay for the service. It's just, I was like, wow, wow,
Well,
wow,
because
wow.
he told them that they could talk to her, but I think she's eating up his retainer money.
Yes.
I think she's eating up his retainer money, and that's going to be a mistake. I don't think that Nesto, unfortunately, I think is not well educated. He didn't advance
No.
so he doesn't understand that he's eating up his retainer by
Mm-hmm.
having her make all of these phone calls on his behalf.
Right.
And it's just unfortunate. I think that he's a little bit, um, he's just dumb. Like I hate to say it, he's the stereotypical blonde. No offense to any
Right.
of my blondes out here, but he's kind of like like they say the dumb jock or whatever. Like
Well,
he's
with her
just unfortunately not right.
with
Mhm.
her isolating him from everyone, from Dre, from Lamont, from Dion, from Shirley, from other kids, from everyone. Now she's controlling him and she's controlling what he sees and what he hears and what he does. Because if they were still in touch, and I know they're listening to the calls, they would be like, player, let me tell you this, let me tell you
Yeah,
that.
but
You
they're
need to know
dumb
this.
too. Dion's not bright. I think that he is basically getting a taste of his own medicine. He's getting back what
Mm-hmm.
he did to Shirley. And
Right,
I think that he also he's just not smart. And neither is Lamont.
right.
Lamont over here calling people Jones. Jones and
Oh my
Jones, Josh
God. I'm
Jones.
like, why
And
hasn't he been why hasn't he been
Dion
arrested?
isn't supposed to be in the mall with a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't sent his dad $20, but he's got $5,000 to go shopping at Neiman's. Like it's like
Right.
makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but Sharonda, I got Vicky holding. Is there
Please,
anything else
yes.
before we
No,
go?
no, I enjoyed it and I will continue to listen. A lot of times you
Absolutely.
have my side cracking, so
Oh my
I'm
God.
enjoying the whole
Ah! Well, we're gonna call in tomorrow too. So tomorrow's really our call in day, but Joey asked for it. So I said, okay, let's go ahead because it was such a good episode. And I was trying to kind of be a little bit ahead today because I was like,
hmm
I know there's gonna be so much to talk about. So I was like, let me just do this, get this reaction done last night. So anyway, Sharonda, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'll talk
Thank
to you
you.
next time.
All
Okay,
right.
take care. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Okay, Vicky. I saved the best for last. There you are.
Hi. I
Hi,
haven't.
Vicky.
I have. I took notes because I'm just listening to all the callers, and I'm like, ooh, that's good. Let me. I want to comment on that. I really. First of all, I wanted. I know everybody's like been back and forth about Dre, but honestly, like one of the caller before last said, I probably wouldn't tell my friend outright that, or tell my friend's like spouse outright that, hey, you're my friend is no good. You need to leave him alone. You kind of stand by the sidelines, and it's like you look and see, like, if you're treating your spouse like this, how are you going to treat me? This is the person that you've signed your life, you've made taken vows before God with. How are you going to treat me as a friend? So I would take notice of that. Like, but Drake cutting into his ass so deep, I loved it. He
Mhm.
got into him so hard that Nesto didn't even want him to put money on the phone.
Nestor was like, "Forget it, I'm good." Yeah. But you know, good. Sometimes you need someone to break you down to the point where you stop lying. And
Yeah.
rather than not pick up the phone because you don't want to hear it, the fact that he declined, like, no, we're good. I've heard what you said. I understand. You don't have to bother to call back on that. Good.
And
Good.
Sonya's been blowing smoke up his butt for this past year, and Dre's like, no, 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 no. Leave that lady alone. Leave her alone. I just, it just, I know that you kind of give examples sometimes about like I can only use like circumstances from, I can only compare it to circumstances I've experienced. And dealing with narcissists, when they don't hear, like, or people with narcissistic traits, when they don't hear exactly what they want to hear, they interpret it and flip it. Shirley didn't say everything he said, but he flips it to the point where it's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And Dre was there to tell him, she didn't say that. I was listening the whole time. Now, Dre was probably thinking, you thought I had the phone down in the phone holder and I didn't have it on speakerphone, but I had it on speakerphone and I was listening to everything.
Yeah.
And
Well, you had him look, being in someone's wedding is definitely serious. And when you get those opportunities to stand up, at the point where it's not just at the wedding anymore, it's in the relationship and you're
mhm.
there as a friend to the couple, that's what he needs. So, maybe one time he wasn't listening and then the other time he was because he needed to, because he needed to be a witness in the, for the future. Because maybe he knew that this was going to come up and he wants to be able to be, to support Shirley and his friend. And he also knows his friend lies. Okay.
And the fair part about Dre too is that he says, I've been, he basically said, I've been in your shoes before where I was hard headed. So why are you sitting here lying to me? Like, I've been where you were before. I didn't want to listen to you. And I'm telling you right now, listen to me because he basically said that. And just Ernest or Ernie as Dre calls him,
Look, but like I said this the other day, like this is the same, like it's the same thing what you're saying, right? At the end of the day, Ernesto wanted to create a way to not, some people don't want to be the bad guy. They would rather
right.
do anything but be the bad guy. And Nesto wanted it to be Shirley's fault.
Hmm.
Shirley wouldn't give me an answer. Shirley said no. Shirley broke up with me. So therefore, I don't have to talk about my cheating. I don't have to talk about my philandering. I don't have to talk about the fact that I've been absent from our relationship for over a year due to me being on the streets with shenanigans. She's turned her back on me. He can have it be all Shirley's fault, even though she's well justified in everything. He's making her the bad guy. And because she gave up on the relationship, she's turned her back on me. Now I'm free. I can do what I want. I don't care. I can carry on this, that, and the third and make it okay. And, the fact that Dre is actually calling him back to argue with him about it, I
Yeah,
mean, I think Dre is also probably trying to save him from a standpoint. Dre all but said, leave Sonya alone. She's no good for you. I don't think it had anything to
exactly.
do with Shirley at this point. I think
No.
Dre coming in there talking about you shouldn't have done that to Shirley. You shouldn't have tried to push her hand. She didn't you didn't deserve an answer at this point from her. You should have just let her.
Yeah,
give
you have
you
no
whatever
power.
she had. But at the end of the day, I think he also just wanted to tell him Sonya's
Stop
no
me.
good.
No.
Like Sonya's no good. We don't need Sonya on the team. Sonya is no good for business. And but that's and I mean, I think that's kind of what he said. But I don't know. I mean, look, it's this man. Shirley's pretty much out of it right now. Shirley's on
Yeah.
break. Shirley's on vacation. She's not dealing with this. And if
Yeah.
she is dealing with it, she's not going to deal with it on social media. She's staying as far away from it as she can.
Yeah, that's all I have for like. I was happy to hear Trey just cut into him, but as far as like Sonia and Ernesto, just these last 2 days of drops, it's it's very eye opening to see their mannerisms,
Oh
to
my
see how
God, they're
to see.
awful.
Well, she does give like opiate vibes, like she's you know. I thought it was the video, girl. I swear to God, I thought it was the video. I'm like, wait a minute, is it? Did they mess up on the download on this? Because
Mm-mm.
she's talking slow, and then he's talking real like his normal pace, and it was going back and forth. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait, is she?
no.
Because
At
she's
first, I
giving like
thought the same thing, and I was like, no,
she's given like hard. I mean, I could be wrong. But she's also could be doing going manic too. So who knows? Like she could just be up and down like that too. But I sense opiates because it or some sort
Well,
of
she's got a situation. I mean, she's living with half her colon.
mhm.
So she's got some sort of issue. She's got a stomach issue, so she doesn't hold her food long because she has half her colon. And she is living with the residual pain from the gunshots. She had some, I don't know if she had failed breast implants or maybe her
They
system
rejected or
rejected
something.
them.
Yeah.
But she may have some sort of autoimmune thing going on. I mean, a lot of people get these surgeries, those silicone implants or whatever she ended up getting. It could be quite painful. Hold on one second, please. Give me just one second.
Your babies are losing their mind. Mine finally went to sleep.
They're just up having a good time. They're
Yep.
good. But yeah, they're getting along really well. But yeah, I don't know. And she might have a prescription. So I'm not saying it's anything illegal, but when some people are taking medication, see, I remember we talked about this. She might be on a check. She
Oh,
might not
okay.
be working because she might
No
be on
doubt.
SSI or SSD.
No doubt.
Well, I guess it
She's
would be
getting that
SSD,
income.
right? Because
It'll
she's
be
too old. She's
SSD.
too
She's too
young.
young. She's too young
Yeah.
for
So
SSI. But I think she's on. I think she's something's funding her lifestyle. Because
yeah.
she's able to rent Airbnbs and hop back and forth and live.
Well, she might be camming. Let's be truthful. She knows her way around going live and getting on social media, so she might be camming. She might be
What?
just entertaining gentlemen by talking to them who
Yeah.
because we know she can talk her ass off. And she might not mind flashing her tits every now and again. I don't know what that lady's doing, like for
What was
real.
that about? That she mentioned something about. I couldn't really catch on to what they were saying about the hotel, and she was alluding to something that she does, and it was something that gave me
He said,
escort
"How's your other
vibes.
business? How's your other business going? How's that?" And she's like, "I might not have to go out there for another little while." We'll break
That's
that down. If I
okay.
come back a little bit later, we can go to that part of the video. That's why I'm like, when I do these reactions, it's so much more fun doing it live with you guys. But it like takes double, you know what I mean? Like we'll be live for 3 hours. But we could
I
definitely go to that video because that video had a lot in it to
yeah.
unpack. And I know I was really just giving a reaction. We didn't like deep dive into it. So if you guys want to, I mean, we can always revisit it. That's no problem.
Yeah,
Um,
I just want to say, let me okay, I have my notes. I'm just trying to run through my notes really quick. Yeah,
mhm.
it's like Sonya, she's disappeared right now, but she's not gone
I don't
forever.
think she's disappeared. She's right where she's been in the bushes. Like she's not disappeared. She's in this chat. She is listening and she's taking notes. She is right here. She might be in the chat, right? She might be a member.
She
I
might,
don't know
yep.
where she is.
Well, she's made herself incognito, a little bit more
Yeah,
incognito right now. But
she's
she can't.
hiding in plain sight.
Yep, and I don't think she realized like when she was when she was saying all these stuff on these calls and still continuing to talk about his crimes on these calls, people are in and out of Cobb County. So they could be paying attention to Nesto and they could recognize him. And they're like, "Oh, you that dude on the calls." If they hear him talk, they're like, "Oh, you that dude on the calls. Let me see your paperwork." You know, so they could be hearing this stuff and her just constantly talking about his charges, and we know what CP means.
Well, look at
People
it
are,
this way. Listen to this. Someone who's on his wing, sister. Like, let's look at it this way. A young person, probably not so much. Someone who's in the 35 plus set, who's listening to this, their brother might be in Cobb County. And
exactly.
it's like, hey, are you in there with Ernesto? You know Nesto?
Yeah,
There's
he
a
got CP
nurse. She
charges.
might be listening to me right now. There's a nurse who follows my mommy channel. She lives in Atlanta proper area. Her husband is a CO at Cobb Adult Detention Center.
Mm,
Okay. She's like, "Oh my God, I was listening to you, Fran. I didn't realize that Ernest is over there at Cobb County. That's where my husband works." And I left it right there. I didn't ask her another question because I don't want, like,
yeah,
this is just in the computer for me. I don't want her asking her husband anything. I don't want to ask anything
but
because you know what
she
I'm
did.
saying? But
She.
just as much as she's watching my mommy content on my other channel, and then she's watching this so just as that could happen, that's happening somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah,
And someone's son, nephew, cousin might be over there, and then they're asking, Nesta, oh my God, I'm right next. Did you know he has SACP da 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 da? Okay.
girl, it could be over for him before he even goes to trial. Like, and that's why Daryl was like, gave him the sign, like, hey, and I think Daryl is like a crimey. That's what they kind of call it, like somebody who's involved in his affairs, if so to speak, on the outside. Because Daryl was like, they only really talked for what 3 minutes. The whole visit was about 6 minutes. They talked for
Daryl
three.
gave me law enforcement, and maybe
I
they
don't,
grew up together or something. I don't know that Daryl's a bad guy. Daryl seems to be someone who's handling his business and knows Ernesto for a long time. And one went one way and one went the other way. And there's nothing wrong with him stopping by to go say hello, but there could be a reason why he's keeping a distance because he doesn't want to be involved in it. Like at the end of the day, I can be your friend and I can keep a distance. I don't want to there's a reason why he didn't want to be in his wedding pictures
right? Yeah, because I
or be
forgot
in
why.
his what, let's say he didn't want to be in your wedding and subsequently wedding pictures. Like there's a reason. So maybe he's in law enforcement. He could we don't know what he does for look at I mean, look at the rumors about Fonnie before Nathan. They
Right.
say she was involved with,
With the
I mean,
gang members or
at
whatever.
first
Yeah.
when I heard that when Donald Trump's team made that assertion, I was like, that's so
That's
racist. But
ridiculous. Yeah, I thought
it
that was
turns out
ridiculous.
that maybe she was involved with someone who had some ties to something.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that is so racist. Like I was kind of like offended, but then I was like, oh, okay, funny. But whatever. I mean, I don't look. I'm not look. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, sir might be in some sort of law enforcement, government, something we don't know. And he just
He's
stopped by to be a friend and he's keeping his distance because he needs to.
yeah, he's in
I,
something
I like Connie too.
he's in something that's like he's like, okay. He just told him to cut it. He's like, cut it. You got money
Yeah.
on your books. He asked him twice. You need some money on your
I
books.
basically he said he's because what can we talk about? Nothing. I came to check on you. That's
He
it.
he did the
I
whole
like
man
that.
thing. He did the whole man thing. Like it was very like I'm like I like that. Hey buddy, I just want to make sure you
It
was
was
okay.
giving short, sweet, to the point, nothing extra. Period. Very and yes, absolutely.
My
I
my
had
last. Go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give like my last thoughts just to Sonia. I'm pretty sure she's going to listen to this.
She's
Um,
listening right now. Make
Sonia,
no mistake.
she and Nesto, they're so jealous that they want to take from people who have advanced and who have figured out a way and who have like either gotten education or have just learned how to make a good life for themselves, whether that's,
Right.
go to college, just work hard, get a trade, you name it. They are they display the selfishness of people who just steal from the common man who's just trying to make it in life and find happiness. And they display an immense amount of jealousy of people who are just trying to live their life and not bother people and just be happy. And Sonia, when I look at Sonia, she's a year younger than my mother. My mother had me at 16, and she had a drug addict. My grandmother was a drug addict at the time, and she advanced herself, worked 3 jobs, and legitimized herself, even with all those circumstances. She looked around those projects, and she was like, "Okay, I don't belong here. My child doesn't belong here. I'm going to make a way." Sonia probably had better circumstances than my mother, so Sonia really doesn't have an excuse for where she is right now. So I feel bad that she got shot, but what were you doing, boo, that situation? Because
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I don't feel bad for her that she got shot. I mean, being shot these days, you have a better chance at living in 2024, even in 1990, whatever. Like, people don't die from gunshot wounds anymore, all the time. Like, it's not a foregone conclusion you get shot and you're going to die. The home invasion was horrible, but I'm going to just say this: you shouldn't have been dating a drug dealer who was stealing from other drug dealers. That none of
Right.
that was cute. She was giving warning sign after warning sign after warning sign to not deal with these boys, and she carried on anyway. And it's unfortunate that her family had to deal with such horrible repercussions of her wanting to deal with bad boys. And forever they had to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sonya
Right.
made a very specific decisions to deal with these guys, these bad boys, and she almost got her family killed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't, sorry, I don't feel it's everything Sonya's going through is stuff Sonya made decisions to do. Her getting dragged on the internet is a direct result of her showing up day after day being a complete bitch. And that's why she's getting how she gets done. Like, nobody, I don't feel sorry for her. I
Yeah.
don't
And
dislike her. I don't think she's a I don't, I was going to say, I don't think she's a horrible person per se, because I don't know horrible things that she's
I
done,
don't
but
know.
she is
Yeah.
a liar. I just don't have any respect for her.
I think she's upset, and like you said, you mentioned earlier, she's been a failure. She, whether it's low self-esteem or whatever, she doesn't have any follow through with the things. I think she thought this thing with Nesta was going to legitimize her, because somehow, some way, being associated with the Steve Harvey bunch, and
Mhm.
even if Nesto didn't get back with Shirley, um, she was gonna be able to say, "Oh, I took the the Steve Harvey lady's man." Something like, that was gonna legitimize her, and time just caught
Because
up with
she's over
Sonya.
there listening to the high how to snag a high value man podcast.
Girl,
She's
please,
thinking Nesto is a high value man, but he's not.
yeah,
He's
no,
the sketchy baby daddy. Okay. When Kevin Samuels talks about the sketchy baby daddy,
yeah,
the women that men don't want to get involved with, he's the sketchy baby daddy that just got out of prison. He's not a
yeah.
high value man. Just because he looks nice in a suit, Kevin Samuels would classify Nesto as the sketchy baby daddy.
absolutely. All Nesto has to offer is slick maneuvers and probably some good D, and that's what he was given out to these women. And he learned a few things while scheming and scamming early, and these women were so dematized very early on. That's why he convoluted everything with making sure that he was intimate with all these women. He's just I just personally think she liked the fact that she was being a good bottom B. She liked isolating him. She liked, same thing he did with Shirley. enjoys being his only one, there for him. So quick to turn on his brother, his quote unquote brother, his son, you know, his friends, just taking him away from everybody. And
I agree.
it's I don't feel bad for her because again she's been afforded every circumstance that we can have in America. Like, you, even if you're on social SSD, you had this bad situation happen to you. You're on SSD. Flip that SSD check into something, into like a real legitimate business, girlfriend. Like that
Well,
can.
and also she's 55 now. There's here in Charlotte, it's not even like a retirement type thing. There's like apartments, like nice apartments
Hmm.
for 55 and over that are apartments that are like half the rate
Oh,
because she's 55.
my
So
my
she's got
grandpa.
a disability and she, I mean, I don't know if they consider that a disability, but she has half a colon and she might be on SSD. She's 55 years old. She may have actually found herself a nice apartment for half the going rate because of her age and her disability.
See, I think
I'm gonna
when
put
she
you
was
on.
in Georgia that she was doing some sort of Airbnb. She probably was sharing that Airbnb, in my opinion, like with the daughter or something, because it was nicely, from what I could see, it had like nice little, like, kind of modern
Where she's staying
furnishing.
is it Airbnb?
It looks like an Airbnb, because remember she did that live
Oh,
with
maybe she
the.
got a furnished apartment. Maybe it's slightly furnished or she bought. Look, I mean, these days you go to Home Goods, you could that painting or whatever that was, that print behind her, that could have been like 39.99 at Home Goods.
I don't see her paying for anything, honestly.
Well, right. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's for a corporate apartment or an Airbnb for long term. I don't know. I don't know what that woman's doing. You know what I mean? She could be in an
Yeah.
Airbnb. Some people are gonna say she can't afford an Airbnb. She could be in a 55 and over apartment. Um, I don't know. I mean, she's 55, so legit, she can go to one of these apartment communities and get herself a nice apartment, with the 55 and over set. So,
Yeah, she really could.
and it's
My Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, you said your grandfather?
My grandfather, he has a three. He's had the three since my grandmother passed. Even before my grandmother passed, they've had a three-bedroom, because it's a disabled apartment. All you have to do is prove that you have some sort of disability, and you pay 100. You can pay 100 something dollars. His mother is still living, and you can pay. She lives out. They're moving her into a high rise, and she's on and down in New Orleans, and she's paying like 80 something dollars a month, like one of the nice high
Oh, so
rises.
she might have Section 8 too. That might be
Oh, no, it's a
some
senior program.
stipend.
It's a senior
Okay, so
program,
there's a
and
senior program too. Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
Sonia
and
is.
she's calling herself retired too. So she may actually be on SSD because
I
she's not
think.
old enough for Social Security retirement, but it could be SSD. And she may have used all of those medical bills and her situation with her chest and everything and her pain. And if she is going to pain management, it's quite possible she has to take her pain medicine because if you have to attend pain management to sustain your social security disability, she has to take that pain medication because they're going to do levels to make sure that you're not selling your medication. So, ma'am is probably legit slurring. So, because
Girl,
she's
I
on
promise.
some good drugs for all of what she's been through.
I was so confused on that video. I was sitting there at my desk at work. I had to work in the
I
office
I
yesterday.
wasn't confused in the least. I was like at first I was like, "What?" And then when I saw Nesto was normal and she wasn't, and then I looked at the other videos posted, I was like, oh, okay. Like when she comes live for us, she probably has had a good shower. So she's nice, awake, and alert. She may, if either not taking her medicine or just taking her medicine, but when sis lets that medicine kick in, sis is giving drunk auntie.
And that's okay. If you got to take it, you got to take it. Just you shouldn't be driving. I'm sure she drove herself down to the Cobb, and driving at a little electric car everywhere. Ma'am, please stay safe on the roads.
She
Um,
might have Ubered.
that's true too. the what was it?
But what do you
No,
think about her getting to Atlanta and making friends with two homeless ladies? Carl Thomas's baby mom is said that she was homeless, or Tasha K said she was homeless. With all those kids, I think she has like 5 or 6 kids, and everyone has a different daddy. And then now she says Madison lives in a hotel with her mother, and that Madison has bad credit from the stiletto bosses. What did you think about that? Like, why? If I was a stiletto boss, I would be mad that my friend sat up there and ran my business.
oh, well, here's the thing. It's fair to say you wouldn't know that this would get out online. Um, but again, why are you telling my business to an inmate at Cobb County? That I would be upset about that. However, you attract what you a lot of times you attract what you are, and she's
Hmm.
homeless. She's homeless and she's a bum. Unfortunately, I hate to put it that way. I don't bit more believe she was working before Nesto. I think she's been bopping around, skimming and scamming from what she could. I still believe she's doing something with credit cards. That's all
I
allegedly.
know you mentioned that the other day.
I
Madison
that's
is the woman who interviewed her at the club that night from Stiletto Bosses. And if you follow her on Instagram, she goes out with Madison here and there. She kind of reminds me a little bit of a Deb Anthony, but younger. But she's a lady. She seemed nice. She's the one who asked Sonya all those questions about her shooting. Um the shooting that happened. I don't know what it is, to be quite honest. I'm gonna be real honest with you, Mile High. She keeps saying Madison, and she mentioned someone living in a hotel. At first, I thought she was talking about Carl Thomas's baby mom, but then she said that she was meeting Madison at the photo shoot. Then she mentioned the photo shoot again, and basically she was going to meet Madison after the photo shoot. So it would stand to reason that she was talking about Madison, not Carl Thomas's baby mom, who was also reported to be homeless. It's like,
They all talk about each other. If you ask me, if Sonya's quick to talk about them, they are all talking about each other. They are all tea
mm.
to each other. You know that you
And Nesto knew Madison's business. He's like, "Is that the one who had the friend who was a boxer? I mean, the son who
the
wants to
son
be a
who was a
boxer
boxer,
and this, that, and
yeah,
the other thing." Like Nesto knows exactly who she is.
because that's all she does. Why do you go down
All their people.
but you also she's bopping up in there with that ponytail, and you're coming to visit for 30. You only have 30 minutes each week. Why aren't you reading him like some inspirational passages? Have a outline ready. Here's what happened with the attorney, but make inspire him instead of running down everybody's business and then trying to
Create
bring.
the bloggers. I don't know what you did, but your phone fixed itself because your phone it was like, it sounded like you were calling us from outer space, but now
I
it's
took it off
better.
my headset, so
Oh,
um,
okay. Next time Vicky calls in and we hear that, we
just
have to
tell me
remind Vicky no headset.
no
Okay.
headset.
Yes, no
Um,
headset.
she, but she's trying. Also, her still talking about Sheridan, trying to make sure that she keeps that wedge in between Shirley. Sheridan keeps his eye on this. Sheridan is the reason why you're in there, the stepdaughter, which we know is not the case.
I'm ready to see some calls where she's like, "Tell me something good. Tell me."
Yeah,
Like I'm eager to see something different. You know what I mean? Like I love the mess and all of that. I absolutely do. And if all of them are like that, I'm cool with it. But I would love to see or hear them actually have a personal conversation. And I don't mean sexy talk. Like if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But I'm just saying I would like to hear them have a conversation like two adults about
it,
something not pertaining to his case, to give me a different impression. But she's his secretary, like when I keep saying it like that, it's the Mary
Mary
J.
J.
Blige
Blige.
song. Okay, so
Yeah.
that you're not his secretary, or that you're not trying to use him and his situation for coin. Because Sonya's scam, if there's a scam going on, okay, this Sonya's scam is monetizing his situation for her personal gain. Okay. And Nesto's scam is making this silly chick think I like her so that she can help me with my legal defense so I can get up out of here.
If oh my goodness, if my man was in jail and I was hell bent on being a jail wife, I would have, and she said she's into Buddhism. I would have like some passages to read to him. Like let's do this meditation together real quick. Let's do this 15-minute meditation. Something
Well,
different.
he
I
didn't
mean,
like that. Shirley had it for him.
oh, he didn't
But
want to.
you
Girl, he
guys
wanted
in the
money.
comments today talking about how are you going to put an atheist name on your Bible? Because that's what he wants to
I
do.
saw
Let
that.
him. Let him. Y'all stop trying to save everybody. Let him do that.
Oh, you saw her face too.
She was like,
Uh,
"You."
uh, uh.
She was like, "Why are you doing that?" Like Candy, you know how Candy does, "Why are you doing that?" She says she lay at home doing nothing. Just I thought she was opening a business. I thought she was opening a row of houses. I thought she was
I thought she had
building a
houses.
club. I thought she wanted an RV park. I thought like what?
Didn't she want to open an all male
All
strip
male
business?
review. I mean, what is it? So
She,
now you're just laying at home doing nothing. Like it doesn't like make it make sense.
that's for Nesto. That's why she's so attractive to him. One of the reasons too. To me, it seems because she's always ready to answer the phone. Always ready to
Oh,
answer the phone.
she's answering the phone.
She's gonna answer that phone. I love
She gonna
you.
answer that phone. You said she gonna, I
I
love
love
you.
you.
Wait. Oh my God. So okay, I talked to the attorney and and I'm looking at your cases. I love you. Okay.
Love
Have
you.
a great day. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, I'm gonna go, Vicky. We've been on here 3 hours and
All right,
15
girl.
minutes, girl. Y'all gonna be sick of me. So when do you guys want me to drop the Dre reaction? Do you want me to just drop it now, or we'll wait like an hour or two? Let's wait till 5 o'clock. Let's wait till 5:30. So, because I mean, you guys, some people are behind in the chat. I don't want to drop everything because if something else comes up, y'all gonna be sick of me. Some people say, "No, come live whenever," but I don't know, maybe I should let it go in the morning. It's only like 25 minutes, it's short. Um, you guys let me know. If you guys want me to drop it, I will. I just feel like phone calls will come out with something else and then maybe I'll come live again. But if not, we'll see. Plus I need to get ready a we threw it all the way back. I feel like there's so much coming out right now. I'm like, does the throwbacks need to go on vacay, or I'm just going to put them out a little bit less because there's so much going on and we still have to deep dive. What am I going to do? Fran, you're hilarious. It's like so much content on these YouTube streets. It's like, what do I do? You guys give me some ideas. I already know what to do. I know you guys are going to be like, just drop it. Give us all of it. There's never too much. So much drama on these YouTube streets, guys. We can't even make any progress. We couldn't even do hot topics last week. Okay. Whatever you want, I'm down and gonna watch. Make Beauty Forever is so sweet. I just love her. Aw, thank you, sis. You're so sweet. Nobody told Sonya that we thought that Claudia Jordan was her cousin. But if someone is Claudia Jordan's cousin on the YouTube streets, it might make Beauty Forever. That's why she was mad at you, Make Beauty Forever, because you look like Claudia Jordan. You look more like Claudia Jordan than she ever does. Okay. He said he wants, and look at all those diamonds, Lady Diamond. Don't think I wasn't parked on your avatar for a reason. He said he wants the atheist to get him a Bible with both of their names on it. Sir is tripping. Okay. He's tripping. He's smoking that ish. Okay. Something's wrong with him. Take your time. We're here for it. We never get sick of you. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Miss HLS. I am definitely behind in the chat, but I'm here for the Dre reaction. Yes. Okay, Tyra. Is it Tyra? Yes. Bank is here. Hey sis. I was just on Madison's IG, a 50-year-old wannabe Cardi B rapper. Well, good luck with that, sis. I wish anybody good luck in fulfilling their dreams. She said she was signed by Sony. That's what Sonya said. Trying to submit payroll before girl, get that payroll out, okay? Oh God. I just, when I worked with the agency, oh my God, and I had to do payroll, that was awful. That was so long ago though. The Bible gonna catch on fire. Um KK, stop. I was like, I could say something snarky, but I better not. Um, I'm watching whatever, sis. Aw, okay. Let's see. You guys are so fun. Whose birthday? Erica. Erica is the birthday girl. I know you guys wished her happy birthday. Happy birthday, Erica. Like Shirley says, she has time to dream. Look at that. Look at Shirley. And what a way to close out. Guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. That was so appropriate. Um, isn't that nice to have some space, opportunity, and peace to be able to have a dream? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. If something pops off, I'll be back. You guys know where to find me. Thank you to everyone who dropped some support today. You guys are awesome. I'm sure we didn't get through everything. But if there's something we missed or something we need to talk about from any of the lives, but just remember, she's been there over 50 times. There's so many videos for them to drop. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I cannot wait. I just cannot wait. So hopefully phone calls will drop us some other tidbit um to give. I mean, Sonya is busted. She is what they call cold busted. Good for Shirley. Okay. Good for Shirley. Thank you for your time today. Oh, you're welcome, sis. Thank you guys for your time today. Okay. To the tune of 567 likes. You guys are amazing. Okay. And I hope you guys enjoyed members and mods today. Thank you to the mods who volunteer and the members who mod that also volunteer and the members who voluntarily help with that coin because it helps pulling documents, subscriptions, memberships, periodicals, all of those things, because that stuff definitely does come into play over here um to be able to get those type of materials so that we have the real stuff, that we don't have to go search high and low. When you have subscriptions, you can just go log in and to the places where they file all that kind of stuff, and it's a community share type thing. So um and Shay says finding those regular calls, PCFP didn't come here to play. No. No, 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 no. It was just funny to me to really hear Sonya articulate that instead of coming up, the reason why, and I'm going to just say this to anybody, the reason why your social media plan won't work is because you can't plan on your success based on someone else's demise. Okay. Colin Powell wrote a really good book once upon a time. And that was some of the premise of, as a general, um, not necessarily creating a success plan around taking other people down. It's what are our goals and aspirations and what are we trying to do here? And that's the plan that you develop. You don't plan on other people's demise for your success and achieving goals. Okay. But only someone who is successful can really understand that. People failing around you isn't a win for you, it's actually a fail. You want people to win. Even as a country, when we've had to take down other countries, it's really for the betterment of those people, even if we're in the future tense or wrong. So I don't even want to get into politics right now. But that was one man's view. But as in terms of a premise and as an individual, you can't plan your success around other people's failure. You just can't. You can't. And I think what she thought she was going to do was create a situation where she was going to hijack the content and thought in that pea brain of hers that people were going to come to her as the source versus the source. And what she has to understand is that really the ultimate source is Cobb County, but she doesn't even have a social media presence at this time, and the community is not rallying around her. So she, once again, and this is a business premise, She didn't understand her customer because the customer that's consuming this content don't like her. She hadn't even found her tribe. So anyway, we're gonna let Sonya go because we're giving her too many gems right now of why things didn't work out. And I don't want to give her anything else. Otherwise, you've got to book me and pay me. I don't give that out for free. But anyway, and I wouldn't book we can't have a consultation. But anyway, um, y'all, let me let y'all go. Have a good afternoon. This was so much fun, and I'll see you guys later. If something pops off, I'll be back. Just know it. I'll be back. Otherwise, you guys have a good afternoon, and I will see you guys later. Okay. All right, guys. Take care.